You are now in the arena. Welcome to Gridiron, presented by Underdog. Woo-hoo. My name is Kinsey. I'm your host, and today I am on top of the world after last night's game, so I'm so excited for today's episode. But I got to introduce my boys. We've got one of the most prolific figures in the history of sports media, and the man who's never lost a debate, but definitely lost some bets.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless! Aqib had some flight troubles, but we do have him here virtually. So we've got our Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, and 2-time All-Pro cornerback, Aqib Talib.
What's up, Skip?
Top 5 passer in the history of the USC Trojans, and our quarterback, Cody Kessler.
Yeah.
3-time Pro Bowler and Super Bowl winning safety, TJ Ward.
Yeah, TJ.
In the Browns gear.
Yeah, you know, I had to bring him out the closet.
Yeah.
Showing out.
Like it. And by the
Everybody
way,
in the spirit today.
yeah, Aqib has the big head today, literal big head, as you can see, because he lucked into another bet from me, and I'm surprised he's not wearing a Josh Allen jersey today.
Hey, I almost cashed out on the PJ to come see you this morning. Skip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I wanted to see you so bad. I wanted to look in your eyes today.
Yeah.
Hey, I like how everybody in the spirit today, though. Hey, Rob. Hey, I appreciate you, Rob. You know what I'm saying? Rob knew I was going to need this shirt today. Champs and all that.
Oh,
The bow Nick.
yeah.
Nice. Well, we're going to have a lot of smack talking from these boys because Skip owes us, I think, a really expensive dinner. So we're going to talk about that later, but let's get into it. We've got a packed show. So just like we were talking about, Buffalo resulting in the Eagles' 1-point win. And then we got the AFC North is now up for grabs. The final week of the season. Are the Steelers now in trouble after losing to Cleveland? And the Texans with an impressive 8th straight win over the Chargers on Saturday. And the Jags come back over Indy, which is AFC South team, is the biggest threat in the AFC. So as always, you guys, this episode is presented by Underdog. And if you think you missed out on Underdog's holiday promos, good news, you have not. So Underdog Unwrapped is still going on with 50% off unrestricted site-wide boosts today. So the app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. And if you are new to Underdog, today is the day. Get $75 in bonus entries when you play just $5 with code GRID. So, of course, we've got to start with my Niners. So I got to witness this one in person. I was at Santa Clara last night, and let me tell you guys, it was absolutely electric. My dad was in tears at the end of the game. So are the Niners potentially a dark horse to win it all after injuries when everyone thought they had no chance to win it all? But they beat the Bears 42-38. Touchdown. The quarterback game was absolutely insane, but I got a shout out. I have Christian McCaffrey on today, but I wish I also had a Brock Purdy jersey because this man, he threw a pick 6 to start the game, but first Niners quarterback with 300-plus passing yards, 3 pass touchdowns, and 2 rush touchdowns in a game. So let's go, Brock Purdy.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we give him a round.
Thank you.
Give him a round. That was a game.
All right, but here's head coach Kyle Shanahan, what he had to say about his quarterback.
I thought Brock had a hell of a game. Again, Brock's been playing his ass off, made some huge plays in this game, kept some drives alive with his legs, made some off-schedule plays, and was an assassin out there throughout the whole day.
Your last touchdown. You've seen Brock play some really good games over the years, but have you seen a stretch like this? Is this as good as he's ever been right now?
I don't know. I'm not the best historian. I feel like he's had some good stretches. I mean, especially going back in 23 and 22. But I mean, he's playing as good as it gets right now.
So they're looking good. We're absolutely rolling right now. So, Aqib, what is your biggest takeaways from the Niners-Bears last night?
Rolling. I'm talking about rolling, Kinsey. Coach talking about Brock Purdy. I'm talking about Coach, man.
Yeah.
That's my biggest takeaway. And Shanahan, man, I think he's proven that he is still the GOAT now. Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, them 3 really running the offensive world in football right now. But I think after the last 2 weeks, man, Kyle is proving that he's still the GOAT, man. He's so creative with this offense. He got this new little motion that he doing. He bringing this guy in this little bubble type of motion. Sometimes they stand outside with the runs with that motion. Sometimes they cutting back with the runs with that motion, man. It's it's crazy, man. They running split zones, counters off that motion. His screen game is crazy. Man, his play actions off that same motion, off the same looks is crazy. Man, he got 1,000 ways to get Christian McCaffrey to football, man. At one point, they brought a DB down. Gardner Johnson ended up trying to guard him because he routing all the linebackers up. He run play action this way, fake a screen this way, throw him a screen this way. So, man, it's just crazy, man. 500 yards of offense, 5 for 5 in the red zone. Man, you got your star tight end out, your star left tackle out, no star receiver, and you still find a way to drop 40 back-to-back weeks, man. So, hey, that's my biggest take from yesterday. Kyle Shanahan, still the GOAT, man. He's the hottest one doing this.
But Ben Johnson also bounced him up yesterday.
They both doing their thing.
He is, but Kyle Shanahan, man, he's been doing it for 6-7 years straight, and I feel like he's just proven that he's still that guy.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. But my takeaway is the performance from Purdy. Like, Purdy has proven he's him. Out of all these quarterbacks that we have tried to crown this season, in those moments, they haven't all been successful. And Purdy, the last 4 weeks especially limiting the turnovers and what he did going for touchdowns, right? We talk about field goals and touchdowns, the difference in wins and losses. And when they needed those touchdowns, he dared Caleb Williams to go down and match him for touchdowns. And Caleb couldn't do it. And he took a page out of Caleb's playbook on that last scramble for the touchdown that he found in the red zone.
Yeah.
It was magic. He was a magician. And then he dug it off to the side. He got the swag, the confidence is there. You match him and Cal together, man, they going to be deadly going into these playoffs, man, and they're going to win the NFC. The NFC, I feel, just what they're doing right now, Cal and what he's cooking up in them playbooks, and Purdy executing it to a T. Like Lee said, they didn't have Kittle, his main target, his favorite target.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't have no protection in their left tackle with Williams out.
He was
but
out.
he still finds way. Jawan Jennings, dark horse. When plays need to be made when no one else is there to make them, he makes those plays.
He does.
And then you can't count, CMC, he's a jack of all trades. He does whatever you need him to do. Man, the Niners are dangerous, but Brock Purdy, he got the reins to that chariot, man, and they going a long way.
Yeah, to your point, too, 49ers 5 for 5 in the red zone. The Bears were 1 for 3. That's a difference, man. That's a big difference. I am right on board with both of you guys. I have a couple takeaways. The first, I'm with you, Aqib, but I'm giving credit to both of these coaches. Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan are two of the best head coaches, but also two of the best play callers in the entire NFL. Their creativity, both pre-snap and post-snap, is unbelievable. They do a great job of using these pre-snap shifts and motions, and they use them with a purpose. It's not just window dressing. They want to dictate what you're doing on defense. They want to use this motion to get you into a coverage that they want, and then they're going to attack that coverage. Then they want you to try to shift and make different checks and changes while we're motioning, and then they snap the ball before you can get set and before you're ready. They also do a great job, too, of showing you the same play multiple times, like Aqib talked about. That motion they do with Kyle Juszczyk, how they keep doing the bubble motion and they run so many different plays off of it. He'll show you the same thing over and over and run 6, 7, 8, 9 different plays off of it, and you're constantly guessing. They're also very creative, too, with not only the pass game and the route concepts, which is easy as a play caller. You can get some different crossing routes, some over routes, different things like that. But their creativity in the run game is unbelievable. The ways that they can create these holes for their running backs is big time. It's great to see. Second thing, the quarterback play. Both Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy right now, they are proving that they are legit top quarterbacks in the NFL. Brock Purdy, since he's come back from an injury, has been lights out. The last 4 games, 15 total touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We know he can throw it. We know he can do these different things, but there's been this narrative around Brock Purdy that he is a product of Kyle Shanahan's offense. He put that to bed, and then some. I mean, the way that he's been able to move around in the pocket, create outside of the pocket, the extra element, too, is now in those zone read plays, Skip, where they're having the backside defensive end left unblocked, and he can read him, which now allows your defensive or your offensive tackle to work up to the second level. He can pull it, take off, and run and score. Those are big-time things. And then Caleb Williams. We sat on this couch on October 14th, and we were asked if Caleb Williams is an answer for the Chicago Bears. And I said he absolutely is. And this was after a Monday night game against the Commanders, and they were only 3-2 at the time, and he wasn't playing great, but I just saw flashes of what he can do with Ben Johnson. We're really starting to see it come to truth right now, too, and it's just been great to see.
So let me start by saying, what a great game that was to watch last night.
Gosh, so fun.
What a great weekend it was for the National Football League. And let me echo what Chris Collinsworth said at the end of the game last night. He said he'd never been more intrigued going into a playoff run than he has for this year. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I have never been more intrigued, even though we don't have the Chiefs, we don't have the Lions, who some people on this show picked to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. We don't have my Cowboys. We don't have the Commanders that a lot of people thought were going to go places this year. And yet, it's just all-time greatest on the build-up to all the games we're about to talk about, because we got 4 deciders coming up, like do-or-die type games. And my biggest takeaway off last night was that, weirdly, I was even more impressed with the Chicago Bears last night in a loss than I have been in any of their wins this year, because you want to talk about big time. Listen, Caleb's a star now, to your point. He's just a flat-out star. He throws for 330, and very quietly, the Bears won the second half. They won it 17-14. They almost had 300 yards of offense in the second half. They held San Francisco to 166 yards in the second half, and it was very nearly good enough to win the football game if Caleb had made one last play. And it almost mirrored the game that we're going to talk about in a few minutes that came just before this. It was almost a repeat of Eagles at Bills, because it comes down to, slowly but surely, Chicago just took the game over in the second half. The 49ers are hanging on for dear life, and it comes down to one play. Josh Allen didn't make it, and Caleb didn't make it, or we're having a completely different conversation. And I really believed when the ball was snapped that Caleb Williams had arrived and he was about to make a play. I just thought he'd pull it off, and he looked quickly and there was nothing, and he looked again and there was nothing, and then he retreated, and yet he threw for 330 at San Francisco. I mean, that's and here's what got me. He got sacked 0 times last night. Remember, last year without Ben Johnson, Caleb led the league in getting sacked. He had 68 sacks last year. That was 36 more than C.J. Stroud in second place in getting sacked. And last night, 0. And for the year, he's only been sacked 23 times. Guess who should get the credit for that? The new head coach or the new coordinator, right? So Caleb's a star. But to your point about Brock Purdy, very quietly, kind of off radar, because he only played, 9 games? He missed 8 and played 9? If he qualified for QBR, he'd be just a tick off Drake May at the top of the list, but he doesn't quite qualify because he just didn't play enough games. So in the end, this was a great football team, and I'm going to echo what Aqib said. Listen, to me, Kyle Shanahan's the coach of the year. I don't care what you say, because on degree of difficulty, if you lose Fred Warner and you lose Nick Bosa, and Ayuk, I don't know what happened to him. He had a knee, and he's got issues, and he's got contractual, and he was gone for the whole year. Well, he's your best receiver, right?
Ricky Pearsall's been in and out of injury.
In and out. And you keep plugging in guys I've never heard of on defense, and Solid deserves credit also, but they have a culture of next man up that's the best in the league to me.
For years.
For years. It's just next man up. And the next guy, you say, where'd they find that guy? He's really good. John Lynch deserves a lot of credit for this. But they are a quiet force. They have come out of nowhere, and now they get a home game for home field playoff advantage. Really? God.
Remember when we were sitting here talking about the Carolina game? And Purdy threw those 3 picks? Ever since then, he must have heard you, Cody. He's been snapping.
He's been snapping.
He's been snapping. Remember
But
you talking about that dig
was the
route?
game off of the toe
before
injury.
No, I just didn't like. You're talking about the J.C. Horn pick?
Yeah, the J.C.
I just didn't like the play design.
He was on you. He said, okay, I heard that,
Okay,
Cody.
but what have we seen in the past from Brock Purdy? every game, every big game, you could count that there'd be 2 or 3 times when he'd make an insane decision where you'd say, "What are you doing, man? That's just craziness." Yeah. And Kyle would be over there throwing his hands up.
He hasn't been doing that.
He doesn't do it anymore.
Which is
it's clean, man.
Yes.
It's just complete. I think he did.
Even the pick six last night, that was just a hell of a play by the corner, jumping the ball and trying to get it to. Yeah, it was just a tip ball.
Jalen Johnson ran the route for Juwan. He just ran the route, and it wasn't a bad throw. It was actually on the dot, except Jalen got his hand in first.
Yeah, he got there first.
Okay, and that's the only mistake that he made.
To your point, though, Skip, with that next man up mentality, you're 100% right. That's head coach. That's culture. That's where the standard is the standard regardless of who's in there. It's okay if Trent Williams goes out. It's okay if George Kittle's not playing. God. You don't want it to happen, but Bosa and Warner, it's okay if those guys are out. We're not going to panic. I put in place a foundation and a culture that's a winning culture, and the young guys have learned that and have sat and have learned and are waiting for their opportunity, and when they get their chance, they go make the most of it.
It's just fun. It's fun that I woke up and everybody's like talking that they're fearing the Niners offense, and I'm thinking this is a quarterback that is nobody's ever considered as a top 10 quarterback. Our receivers are Sky Moore.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall's in and out. We got Kendrick Bourne, who was undrafted free agent, then released from the New England Patriots, and they're shining their stars. We don't have any really good receivers, and you're fearing our offense right now.
And Tonjes, the tight end, steps in last night.
Tonjes.
I mean, that jersey you're wearing right there, though, is an X factor.
The guys you mentioned,
but you can't sleep on Brock Purdy and those receivers right now.
Because they have been. Sky Moore, he was a second-round draft pick in Kansas City. They released him. Yeah. Bourne, he was a starter in New England.
He was.
You know, they released him, so he has a chip on his shoulder. Jennings, we talk about Ayuk. When Ayuk got paid, Jennings was having a better season. Yeah. So he has a chip on his shoulder.
3 or 4 targets last year.
All these guys,
they can throw it to anybody. They're all capable.
Debo's gone. Yeah.
And there's only one way. There's only one way you can do that, Kinsey. If you can throw it to anybody, we can run this. We can do this.
Yeah.
You got the right guy cooking it up.
Yeah.
The right guy got to be cooking it up, man. So shout out to Kyle Shanahan, man. He's doing his shit.
100%.
Last thing on that too, and I'm curious your guys' opinion. So on not 2-point play, but the final play of the game. I don't know if you guys heard the press conference afterwards, but Caleb and Ben Johnson both admitted that they weren't in the right formation.
Oh, really?
And they didn't have a timeout, so they said they got lined up quickly. They weren't in the right formation. They had the right call, but not the right formation. But they didn't have time.
Whose fault was that? Caleb?
I think so this is where it goes back to for me is Ben Johnson took the blame. He said, I didn't get the play in time for Caleb to get everybody lined up and then run it. Well, Kyle Shanahan also playing chess. He ran up and was about to call timeout like coaches do to see what they're doing, but he said, I noticed that they were rushing, so I didn't call timeout.
Wow.
That is a huge that's huge by him. But the reason I think they got to that situation, I didn't love this call. As good as Ben Johnson is, I don't know if I was in love with the hook and ladder with 21 seconds left to go. Because it's tough when you run the hook and then you give the ladder. You're hoping that Swift can get out of bounds, but that corner's already playing outside leverage, so that's tough. So instead of getting maybe 2 to 3 plays, now you have to run up and clock it with 4 seconds left. You only get 1. I would just like maybe a shot at the end zone there, or 3 or 4 shots at the end zone, or a shot to the sideline, get a couple of yards, and then get your best play. But that hook and ladder, as creative as it was, I don't know if that was the right timing with no timeouts left, because then you lose the opportunity to run at least 2 more plays.
Hey, but you have Swift full speed on Lenore, who's really good, who never gets tested, but he had to come up and make a tackle.
He did.
And he made a tackle.
He can tackle.
He can tackle.
He's a physical nickel originally, and now he's starting on the outside. But I think we just saw the hook and ladder earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me those guys weren't watching that game earlier.
No, I agree. But
it's that experience factor, man.
Yeah, you know something coming.
It's Ben Johnson and Caleb. They in these big games where Purdy and Kyle, they've been in these big games.
Yeah.
So Purdy and Kyle, they're going to get lined up and they're going to run the right plays. Yeah. They're going to the clock right. And they're going to get 3 shots at the end zone, where Ben Johnson, he ain't new to calling plays, but he's new to being the head coach. And Caleb is new to this situation. I'm telling you, man, that experience is going to take you a long way.
Yeah. Agreed. So that's why quarterbacks wear wristbands to try to get the formation right with the play call.
So the wristbands really are for longer play calls or certain situations. Now, obviously, when it comes to the base game plan, you've memorized those, so the coach will tell you the play call. I'll read it off to you. But if we have a long-ass play call, I'd always say put it on the wristband, or situational, like with Shedeur, when he had the backed up situation, didn't have the sheet in his wristband. That was for backed up. That's for some of these different situations, unique situations you get in throughout the game. But no, the wristbands are only for long plays and situational football.
Yeah. Do you think it wrecked the play without the right formation?
Absolutely. So I don't know exactly what was wrong, but it sounded like what Caleb said was maybe the offensive line wasn't set or in the right position, or they didn't have the right protection up front, and then guys weren't in the right spot on the outside as well. So everything was off from the start, and he just had to improvise and try to make a play.
Yeah.
But either way, like Aqib said, it's just situational football that you haven't been a part of yet. And Ben Johnson and Caleb will learn from that. But also credit to Kyle Shanahan, recognizing being an offensive guy that they were kind of in panic mode. Let's not call a timeout and let them get set. Let's make them run their play, and we're going to let our defense go win it.
All right, guys. Well, listen, the NFC now is completely up for grabs.
Yep.
So this Saturday, we host the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to determine the 1 seed for the NFC. And I'm hearing some little rumors up in San Francisco that if we clinch the 1 seed, get the bye, Fred Warner is going to be back for the playoffs, which could be a game changer for going all the way. So, Aqib, who wins the 1 seed in the NFC?
I got to go with the Niners, man. They already beat Seattle in Seattle. They get to look at them at home while they absolutely rolling right now. And this team is just flying under the radar, man. They got wins against 4 out of the 6 playoff teams, man. They done beat the Rams. They done beat the Bears. They done beat the Seahawks. They done beat the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? So only team they haven't beat is the Eagles in Green Bay. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's that experience. I talked about that experience. That they've been in the show. They've been in the Super Bowl or the conference championship game 4 out of the last 6 years. That take you a long way. To me, that just, if you towing that edge, you just always in all these big games. Y'all know how much I love the playoffs. If you get that much big game experience, it's gonna pay off sooner or later, man. So I don't know. I like them to win the 1 seed. Shit, I might like them to go to the chip. You know what I'm saying? I honestly might pick them to go to the chip. I don't think I'm gonna pick against the Niners in any playoff game this season.
Wow. Cody?
Ooh.
I think you guys know where I'm going with this
I know
one.
where you're going.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, the main reason is, though, Skip, and you've talked about this, it's a road game. And normally that would be a disadvantage for a team, but under Mike McDonald, they're 14-2 in the last 2 seasons on the road. They travel well, they play well, and this isn't a cross-country game. They're staying on the West Coast, so they're staying local. So I think that's the first reason they get the win.
Like an hour.
The second reason is, as good as the Bears' defense has been at takeaways, they've given up a lot of yards, and we saw that last night. Seattle has a really good defense, and I think they're going to give some more trouble to the Niners in this game. They ended up losing in week 1, but they only gave up 17 points. So I trust this defense, which is second in scoring defense, to play better in this game. And then the final reason is I think Sam Darnold gets the job done. We saw him get a huge win a couple weeks ago against the Rams, and he overcame that narrative. Skip calling him Sam Darnold, not being able to win in these big-time games. That gives him confidence going into this one. And look, this is almost like a carbon copy from last year. Remember, they played Detroit to get the number 1 seed, and if they didn't, they ended up losing and having to go on the road and playing the Rams. He gets another opportunity. This is his redemption shot to get the number 1 seed instead of having to play a wild card game week 1 of the playoffs. So I think he gets it done because of the experience and the confidence.
And he is your boy from USC, right?
I just like him, Skip.
I think there's a little bias going on.
Yeah.
Hey, I believe him. I said the defense, too. I like the defense. Mike McDonald, there's some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I can't deny the defense. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But that's all you got. And you got JSN.
They've given up a lot of points and a lot of yards we've seen against the Rams, and this is a playoff game. And this, if you ask me, it's about who do I trust more in this moment, Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy. And I trust Purdy more, especially at home. I trust Purdy more to get it done, and most importantly, in big games like this, don't turn the ball over. Like we talked about, in the last 4 games, Purdy has 2 turnovers, 2 picks. In the last 2 games, Sam Darnold has 4 picks. And if you give Purdy and CMC and Kyle Shanahan those extra opportunities to put points on the board, guess what they're going to do? They're going to put 7 up. There ain't going to be no field goals like the Rams did, and you sneak out of that with a win. It's going to be touchdowns, and they're going to win. And like the experience that Lee was talking about earlier, these big game moments, the 49ers are just more experienced in these big game moments. And especially at home, they have the advantage. I know how you just mentioned 14-2 on the road, but this is a divisional game. It's different. I feel it's completely different. And I have to give that to the Niners at home with that, that combo of Shanahan and Purdy again. CMC being the third head of that monster. Man, I got the Niners. The Niners.
Let's go.
Cody and I are twins today. We're dressed alike, so
We are.
You are actually the same
Hey,
exact
we didn't plan that
outfit.
either.
we didn't plan it. So Kinsey, you're not going to like this, but I have come around. I have seen the light, and I'm going with Sam Darnold.
Let's go.
No, he ain't
That's
got the
actually
same dog.
shocking. I'm
And I'll
shocked.
tell you
Can't call
why.
him Sam when you're going with
insane.
us.
Hey, you know what's insane? Is that stat you brought up. Now, the Seattle Seahawks have won 13 of their last 14 on the freaking road.
On the
13
road,
of 14,
Skip.
and the only one of those games they lost was at Rams because a 60-yard field goal at the buzzer was about a foot short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And it was 21-19, or they would have won 14 in a row on the road. And I just checked this. They're number 2 in points allowed, the
Yeah.
Seahawks, and they're number 2 in points scored. Well, what's not to love about that? I don't love Sam Darnold. And I will remind everybody, in the opening game at Seattle, that San Francisco wound up winning 13-7. Do you remember what happened at the end of the game? The Seahawks get it 1st and 5 at the 9-yard line, at the 49ers' 9-yard line with a minute to go.
Yep.
1st and 5 at the 9. So you got to score a touchdown, but you're in position. You're at home where they're supposed to be invincible, and they're no longer invincible at all.
Kind of flipped the script on that.
They flipped the script on this. But guess what happened? Sam Darnold got strip sacked by guess who? Nick Bosa. Who's no longer there, and he will not come back for the playoffs because he's gone for the year. But Nick Bosa strip sacked Sam Darnold, and there he was again, and he lost the game. That was the difference. Well, I just think he's kind of grown up before our very eyes, and at least he's not screwing up at the end of games the way he used to. I agree with you.
But he is, though.
Okay, I understand, but if you just pin it down in a vacuum and you say, do you want Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold? I'm saying, well, give me Brock Purdy. But on team, on momentum on the road, it just screams that you should go with Seattle in this game. And remember, San Francisco, there's one big shocking difference to Kyle Shanahan's offense this year. They don't run it the way they used to run it. They used to just run it down your throat with a legion of backs. They come in with 5 different backs, and they just keep running and running down your throat. They're 22nd in rushing in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Because C-Mac, as great as he is, he hasn't been pounding it between the tackles like Kyle likes to pound it. So they're more of a Brock Purdy throw it down the field team than they are a run the ball. Now, Christian was great last night because he had 181 total yards. They had
that
140.
goes to their rushing. That's that.
200 rushing last night.
Yeah, they had 200 as a team rushing, but Seattle is really good against the run. I just think, man, on paper it just screams that this is Seattle's turn.
You know what Seattle's not good at? In space.
Yeah.
They're not very good in space, and that's what Shanahan's going to take advantage of.
All right.
He's going to get them formations going. He's going to find ways to get CMC in space against them linebackers.
Okay.
And they definitely don't tackle very well. So I think that's why the advantage goes to the Niners as well, Skip.
Okay, except that I just watched the Chicago Bears, who I didn't think were explosive on offense, run up 440 yards with San Francisco's defense.
I mean,
bad.
they've averaged like
How you don't
27
think
points a
that-
game. I think they're averaging 27 points a game coming into this game. That's pretty explosive on offense.
Okay.
Very explosive on offense.
No, they are. But to that point, that's the other thing is you mentioned that you said Seattle gives up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of points to the Rams, which they did a couple games this year. But other than that, they've been very solid. But the 49ers, although Saleh has been doing a good job, they're 19th in total offense, but they're also dead last in sacks. They don't get any pressure on the quarterback.
We're also not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Which is true, but to frustrate a quarterback, you got to get pressure. They're dead last. They only have 18 sacks the entire year.
Yeah.
That's going to allow Darnold to get comfortable even on the road, go through progression, find JSN, find Cup, find some of these tight ends, and then run the football.
But I like how they're rushing, and that's why they won on that last play versus the Bears. It was contained rush. We're not rushing to get sacks. We're rushing to keep these quarterbacks contained and in the pocket. And that's exactly what happened on that last play with Caleb Williams. He was like, oh, I can't run out and make a play. I got to retreat. And that end was standing right there waiting for him. Like, come on, come this way. I'm going to be right here waiting for you so you don't get outside this pocket. And he threw an errant ball.
Well,
game over.
The arena is completely split, okay? Well, actually, no. We got 3 of us, Niners, so, and the people are giving 65% to the Niners winning the NFC for the 1 seed. So I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Thank you, TJ, for the support. Now we're going to support Shedeur Sanders with your Browns jacket on because Shedeur Sanders and the Browns took down Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers 13-6 in Cleveland. Shedeur was another modest game with a touchdown, 2 interceptions. There's a lot to unwrap here, so I want to get into Shedeur. So let's start with Skip.
Yeah.
Give me a letter grade for Shedeur because he can get the W.
For Shedeur Sanders, I am going A-.
Oh.
A-, and I was so happy for Shedeur Sanders because he now has a signature win over Aaron bleepin' Rodgers and a Pittsburgh Steelers team that had caught fire on both sides of the ball and won their last 3 games.
They were playing good.
And I want to drive home the point that Shedeur Sanders is facing and up against the highest degree of difficulty in the National Football League at quarterback.
100%.
Because not only is he playing for a coach who did not want to draft him, but again, I'm going to drive this home. Pro Football Focus still ranks his offensive line in pass blocking dead last. Still ranks his receiving core dead last. And even worse yesterday, who has been his favorate target?
Fannin.
Harold Fannin Jr. He had caught 28 of Shedeur's passes, by far the most those that Shedeur has thrown this year. So what happens early in the game? 5:11 left in the first quarter. Harold Fannin Jr. catches a touchdown pass that makes it 10-0, and he rolls over and aggravates his groin injury and is gone for the rest of the game. So they don't have Njoku. They hadn't had him for the last 3 games. So all of a sudden I look up and Shedeur is having to throw to a practice squad tight end named Sal Cannella. I only knew his name from the preseason when Shedeur would get thrown in with the scrubs in the preseason. He was having to throw to Sal Cannella. There's no Judkins, who obviously unfortunately got hurt and lost for the season, so he didn't have Judkins to toss it to when in doubt. And on the touchdown pass, it did float a little bit, though it got exactly to the place that it needed to get to, and it floated because Shedeur got hit as he threw. Bang. And I'm sure Cody will break this down for us. He got hit as he threw the first interception, which floated, and then, Jack Sawyer picked it and returned it 27 yards because it didn't get to the receiver. And I will say this, the reason I'm a minus is the second interception early in the fourth quarter was just a terrible idea by a rookie quarterback where he glanced across the field and Judy was waving, I'm open, and he's saying, oh, he's the vet, I got to try. And he tries to throw it completely across the field, and Kyle Duggar just put it in his back pocket. It was an easy pick, and it was just a terrible idea. But in the end, I just love to watch Shedeur operate the offense with poise and command and accuracy. And to go 17 of 23 against that Pittsburgh defense, that'll work for me. And my point is, my bottom line has been from the start, the Cleveland Browns have found the answer at quarterback. And that drove home the point to me yesterday, so I go A-.
A-.
Yeah.
Man, I love watching Shedeur play, man. He's just so calm and poised in the pocket.
Yeah.
Regardless of who's out there, and I mentioned this on my show, Safety First, is that every great quarterback has a safety blanket in a good tight end. Whether it's Brady and Gronk, Mahomes and Kelsey, and the list goes on, right? When he lost Fannin, that was like a huge blow. A huge blow. His number 1 target, and you mentioned he doesn't have any receivers. You know, he has Judy. He shows up and then he's not there, right? Even on the interception he threw, I thought he could have did a better job of making that an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go back to this. At the end of the day, it's about winning. But at the end of the day, no matter how those picks come, they're picks, right? He threw 2. And there was almost one that got picked that slipped right through the defender's hand. So I'm going to count that. I gave him a B, going 17 for 23 in that weather without your main target. You know, it's phenomenal, especially against Pittsburgh and what they've been doing, turning the ball over defensively. Right, that's what they're known for this season. So I have him as a B with the 2 picks. Judkins, another one of his main targets, not just handing the ball off, but screens and check downs, right? He's been amazing checking the ball down to Judkins and him getting more yards from those carries. So I give him a B overall. It was a great performance. The 2 picks could have been limited. And like you said, that Cam Robinson on that left tackle, oh my God.
Yeah.
If there's not a stunt where that D-line goes inside and there's nobody covering him, it's a beeline to Shedeur every time. It's like he's not even there. And I literally feel like I could play better left tackle than him at this point. You give me a helmet and some shoulder pads, and I'm at least chop the D in or do something to slow him down. Right now, they're not even getting slowed down, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I Shedeur use a B in my book, man. Good game. Good game.
I give him a B also. He should have started the game with 3 straight scoring drives. You know what I'm saying? He got the field goal, came back, got a touchdown. Then they turned the ball over on downs from the 33. Like,
you gotta kick that.
Me, I'm just a take your points kind of guy, especially in a division game, cold, this type of game. I'm taking my points. If it's a 48-yard field goal, that ain't the worst field goal in the world. So I thought it should have been 3 straight scoring drives to start the game. You know what I'm saying? After that, he had 7 more possessions. The offense really fizzled out, man. Fannon's gone. The defense really started balling, so you ain't have to take as many chances. You know what I'm saying? I thought the OC might have threw it downfield more if he had to, but he didn't really have to, man. His defense was playing great.
Yeah.
So you get the win. You control the game. You the first pick wasn't on Shedeur. He got hit. The second pick, that's his worst play of the damn near the season.
Yeah.
And so you had your worst play of the season. Solid game, man. I give you a B, maybe a B minus. I'm kind of in between there. I thought Shedeur played better in other games before this game. I didn't think this was Shedeur's best game, but he got the win. So if he wouldn't have got the win, I'd have put him at like a C minus. You get the win, you B minus, man. You can't get nothing lower than a B if you come out with a dub.
Hey, Cody, we need your quarterback analysis.
Yeah, no, I'm right on board. I gave him a B also. I think that's a fair grade. There are a lot of positives to like on this tape. And I went back and watched all 22 again this morning. That wasn't perfect, no, and we'll talk about it in a second, but there was progress, and that's what you want to see. And that throw on the corner to Tillman is a high-level play, right? Starts rolling out left. Highsmith works upfield, so you want to get outside contained, but you can't. You want to get outside the pocket. You got a wide stop by Judy, and then you have the corner by Tillman. You have Fannin running the crosser coming across.
By the way, Tillman doesn't play very much.
Not very much.
Yeah, okay.
And that was a hell of a route, though, by Tillman, working inside, still stacking them, getting back on top. But Shedeur rolls out, notices immediately, I can't get outside the pocket. Highsmith came upfield. Flipped my hips, set my base, short step, didn't overstride, didn't fall off. A lot of young quarterbacks, when you flip, you fall off. Kept a good base and threw a dime. That's what you want to do. I don't want them to just catch it. I want them to be able to run after the catch. So I need great accuracy. That was an extra 20 yards right there. So that was a great throw. The 2 most impressive throws for me, though, were to Judy after the Fannin touchdown, because that's showing me that he's starting to process at a quicker rate. And that's important for a rookie quarterback. The one was the deep curl to Judy on the left, where he went play action, got his head around quickly, hitch ball. He recognized the corner, had inside leverage, started crashing, threw it outside, great ball placement, but it was right now. He didn't hesitate, he didn't double hitch, and then 2 plays later, what happened? Judy's in the slot, he's running an in cut. Well, as he drops back, Shedeur sees Queen at Mike look left. So he knows now, all right, I'm going to throw it right off the ear hole of that outside linebacker. Jalen Ramsey, who's a hell of a player, reads it. He starts driving downhill, 3 hitch ball, you throw it in time. You know that he's crashing, you protect him with the throw as well. Again, if he 2 hitches, if he's late, if he holds the ball like he's done before, that's a pick or it's tipped and it's an overthrow and something happens. That's high-level stuff. And then the 3rd and 4th throw as well to Bond. That's just processing, getting comfortable. You have the drive by Judy on the shallow. You have Bond on the 2nd layer. I'm reading it, it's cover 3. The linebackers sit, they don't gain depth. 1 hitch, look at it, let it develop, throw the ball over the top. 2 ball right over the linebackers under the safety to Bond for a big conversion. That's great stuff. The touchdown to Fannin, I will say, Skip, I'm with you on that. Now, it was a great read. You have Judy run the quick out, grab the corner. You have a corner by Fannin with the safety getting over there late. They disguised a little cover 2 invert throw. So read the right throw. Was it inside? Sure, but he did get his right guard pushed into him. Couldn't finish it, but that's just knowing your personnel. I'm giving Fannin a shot every single time. The negatives, though, I will say he had a miss. Base got off a little bit on Judy on the opening drive, or one of the first drives. He had the in cut. Pocket collapses, but his footwork got off a little bit, missed an out route. And then the first pick, I'm with you. That wasn't on Shedeur at all. The one, though, that was almost a pick, that's just another thing of decision-making, right?
Yeah.
You see, you had Judy, too. They went cover 4. You had Judy on the deep stop if you wanted it, but then you see the flat zone defender widen out, reset, go to your back. Your back's over the ball. And then the last one I'll end with was that pick to Judy, the one he did throw. The second one just can't happen. That they have max protection. It's an 8-man protection with a triangle look, 2 tight ends, a running back behind them. It's really just a one-man route. There's 2 guys on the route concept, but the left receiver's running a beeline just to clear everyone out. It's just ride fake, 3rd outside step, bang to Judy on a little bender post. If it's not there, I'm throwing it to Myles Garrett on the sideline. I'm throwing it 10 rows out of bounds. Steady rolls right. Cardinals in for a quarterback, throwing back across your body. Just late. But overall, a lot of progress. That's the biggest thing for Shedeur now is just being a little bit more consistent, having the first half look like the second half, still getting comfortable processing a defense. But I was very proud of the way he played.
All right.
Well said.
Yeah, so we got a lot of Bs. The chat is giving him majority of a B. So looking good for Shedeur. I'll take a B and I'll take a win for the Browns.
Against that team, B is very good.
100%.
Man, anytime you get them Steelers.
Yeah. Another story, though, of that game yesterday was Myles Garrett only needed 1 more sack to break the all-time single-season sack record. Unfortunately, he didn't get it. So Myles Garrett did say afterwards that they were a little too focused on him in the game. So let's see what he had to say.
To an extent, I feel like they were more worried about keeping me away from Aaron than getting the win. And I think that's what came back to bite them. So they'll have to fight it out with Baltimore next week. But I'm just proud of the guys for fighting and getting this win. That's the main thing, and I'm always going to keep it that.
Oh, he seems a little like he's excited for the win. He didn't even care about his record. He's like, we got that win. They were focused on me.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I
really?
heard
I was
either.
like,
I'm with
okay.
Skip. I feel like, am I first? No, who's
Well,
Well, let's ask Skip first. But I feel like I personally feel like everybody's always focused on Myles Garrett. Never in a game you're with Myles Garrett are you not
that's a
double
fact.
focused on him,
That's
right?
the point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Skip, what's your reaction to his comment post game?
I love Myles Garrett. He has had a sensational year, and the Cleveland Browns play sensational defense, and they did once again yesterday against what's left of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, finally, they were having a couple slow weeks.
Okay, they were because they were giving up too many rush yards. But I just didn't love this. It hit me the wrong way. You guys may disagree, but this came across to me like a superstar who had vowed all week he would get the record-breaking sack against Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't pull it off, and so he was making an excuse, well, they focused too much on me. No, everybody does. Everybody chips, everybody doubles. It was business as usual, as Mike Tomlin said after the game, against this guy. This is just the way you have to play this guy. And obviously, Aaron didn't have DK, and he didn't have Calvin Austin, so he was a little handicapped, but I was surprised that Myles Garrett didn't make it a we instead of a me, because the we was really good yesterday. And I love Devin Bush, former Steelers high draft pick, and he's found a new life and a new home, and he led them with 9 tackles. So maybe Myles could have talked about what Devin Bush did, or that Schlesinger, that kid from UCLA. He's going to be the defensive rookie of the year, and he's playing on a bum ankle yesterday, and he had 9 tackles. And Delpit had 8 tackles, and Denzel Ward at the end of the game, they tried him 3 straight times, and he just said no. And you could say it was interference on the last throw, but I just
No, I don't think so.
Well, the ball hit Valdez-Scantling, got the 2 hands up on the ball,
great
right?
coverage.
And he couldn't pull it in. So good for Denzel Ward. So to me, I was just surprised that Myles Garrett didn't just say, well, I'll get it. I still got another shot next week, and I'll get it next week. And we played a really great game. That's what happened.
Is that how you took it?
Man,
too, TJ?
I'm right along with Skip. He seemed a little disappointed in the interview after the dub. Like,
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's not
how
how I
else are
took
we
it.
supposed to win the game if I'm Pittsburgh? Like, it starts and ends with Myles Garrett. Every team comes into their game plan and says, hey, we have to stop 95 first if we have any chance of winning. Then we'll work and create a game plan off of that. So for him to come and knowingly know that's what every team does and have the success, not only defensively, because you guys been playing like trash the last 4 weeks, and I do give that to Denzel Ward's return, not only his play on the field, but just his leadership.
Yeah, it's a big
and,
deal.
You know, his motivation within that defense, right?
Yeah.
You know, Myles Garrett gets most of the attention because Denzel Ward is so quiet, but his presence was definitely felt. They even tackled better in the secondary, which I was saying they were the worst tackling secondary in the league for the last 4 weeks. They couldn't tackle anyone. It was crazy, and that's why they had so many rushing yards against them. But that definitely seemed like a disappointing interview. And it's like, hey, I didn't get the sack. I didn't break the record this year. So they focused everything on me, and to that is the reason why they lost the game. No, how about you guys went out there and won the game as a complete defense?
Yeah.
Like Skip said, all these other guys balled.
Yeah, I did.
And especially at the end when you're back against the wall, and for a minute, I'm like, God damn, Browns going to give it up.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers went right down the field in that minute and 45 left. But at the end of the day, they bent and they didn't break.
Yeah.
And you try a 5-time Pro Bowler with a number 2, 3 receiver, which was insane to me. Like, I didn't get that at all. Like Denzel said in the post game, he was like, bro, I don't know whose plan was it to try me. Like, I'm some bum 3 times in a row. But you walk off the field with a win, man. You have to be ecstatic for that. And that energy definitely, what they say, wasn't given.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't given.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we
yeah,
talking
that's my
about
point.
the DMVP though, man. The guy who you probably can't find another interview where he sounded selfish, so to speak, right? And if this dude want to toot his own horn, let him toot his own horn. Man.
True.
He's
deserve
amongst
it.
greatness right now. Greatness is on the way. You know what I'm saying? He finna break a record. He is disappointed. You right, Buck. He is mad he ain't get the record. He hot right now. Hey, just a super humble guy, one of the hardest working guys in the league. Man, we all get the right to toot our own horn a little bit. So, hey, I'm with you, bro. Hey, they focus all their attention on you as they should.
Yep.
And for that reason, y'all only scored 1 bucket, 2 field goals or whatever it was. So, hey, man, hey, I'm with Myles, man. You got the right to do it, brother.
Yeah, you're all about, all about tooting your own horn, right?
I don't even think it was a toot your own horn. Like,
Sometimes you deserve it.
we know that every week. We know that every week, but
Hey,
it's like one of them.
That Aqib toots
What
his
you
own
don't
horn.
see
We
is
know that every
is
week.
how hard he worked all off season.
Yeah.
How hard he worked all week. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to
Hey, but I done seen interviews where they got the loss and he got his sacks and he stepped up to that podium in way better spirits.
He does. He's usually
What?
very.
No, it ain't so what. You got the win. We're talking about winning in this league.
Type of guy.
Hey, man, look. I don't care.
Loss is a
Humble,
loss.
you
don't
can't.
need to carry the negative energy to the post conference and carry it home to your wife. Fuck all that. He had his sacks. He did his job. They lost the game. It is what it is.
But you
He
won
played
this
for the
week.
fucking Browns.
You
But
won
they
this
won
week and
this
you
week.
carrying that negative energy. Why do that?
It doesn't
I
happen.
didn't
It doesn't
really see him carry
matter.
negative energy.
But you
He
know what
answered their
matters?
question.
I mean,
They focused a lot of attention on me, and that shit came back to pop them. Hey,
so
now
when
they gotta
teams
go- now
don't
they gotta
focus
go-
on you and they beat you, it's cool. That's
He ain't say
backwards.
that neither.
But
he said y'all focused all the attention on me. Now y'all got to go fight it out with the Rams. Y'all might have scored a couple more buckets if y'all would have blocked somebody else, or if y'all would have ran a different.
Man,
pressure
hell
or
nah. If they
protection
single
or-
blocked his ass, he would have had 2 sacks.
I
and they
think to
would've lost.
Aqib's point, though, why Myles is frustrated a little bit is because of
He
the
got
point
another
it is in
game.
the season. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they won the game, and it's great for Shedeur going forward and those type of things and the confidence for the rest
Yeah.
of the team. But for him right now, you're out of the postseason. There's really nothing you're playing for at this point. He wants that sack record, as he should.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, another guy too, Skip, that I think deserves credit is Wright, who got a huge sack. Who everyone thought was Myles, by the way. I thought it was too.
I
He's
did
the other-
too.
But it
9-1.
knocked him out. Well, it made it a 54-yard field goal, and then Boswell
huge.
missed it. So that was a huge play.
Yeah.
He deserves some credit, too. So, yeah, maybe Myles could have shouted him out. But my reaction to what he said, I don't think it has anything to do with the sack record. It has everything to do with who he is. Because if I'm an offensive coordinator, I promise you right now, I am game planning everything around 95.
Ridiculous.
He's what we call on offense, we call him a red dot player. What that means is a coach in the film room, they get the remote, right? It has, pause, fast forward, rewind, but also has a laser pointer, a little red laser pointer.
Yeah.
And when the coach keeps putting that red dot on the same guy over and over and go, hey, here's 95 right here. Hey, here's 95 right here. 95's on the left side, on the right side. you know as a player, I'm putting a big red dot on that guy because he can disrupt your game plan.
Well, he's the biggest red dot player in the league.
In the league, Skip. In the last couple of years, man. I mean, he's been that guy. And if you don't chip with tight ends and running backs, if you don't get more quick game, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, who's not the most mobile guy in the world, have that clock in my head to where I got to get it out a little bit faster this week. I can't go to 3 to 4. I got to go 1-2 ball, throw away, and then on rollouts, I'm rolling away from him. I'm double teaming him. All these things. I don't think it has anything to do with the sack record. It has everything to do with the type of player he is, which I think is a testament to him. But yeah, I get it, Aqib. He's frustrated, man. He wants that record.
Was he supposed to be like super ecstatic and like, we won it? Like, bro, we fucking got 4 wins, bro. What was the interview supposed to
No, I hear that. I hear that. I think
like, come on now. What the fuck is we talking about?
No, I hear you on that. And then there's a level to what he wants to this team to be at, and they're not quite there. So he's more focused maybe on personal goals.
But that wasn't the reason that the Browns won.
But no, I'm with you guys on the fact that you're still a leader on that team. You're still a leader. There's other guys that are going to look
It's frustrating you don't get to the quarterback. They put everything they had to stop you because of what you said about Aaron Rodgers' immobility, right? But it's not about, I'm not calling him a selfish player. I know you're frustrated by what happened, but you have to have some level of, no matter if you won 1 or 2 games, you're not used to winning. Shit, if we win 1 game, I'm happy about the win as a team. Now, whatever you say about that.
You see diva receivers all the time be talking, and you guys are like, oh, it's just a diva receiver.
But he's not a diva receiver.
But he's the best defensive player.
Ends is like receivers. They sacks is like catches. We talk about all the time, Lee.
So let him talk a little bit. He's a dog. Let him be a dog.
Hey, man, look, you also supposed to show some type of pride in what your team just went out there and did.
And he did. He said we went out and got the win. You know what I'm saying? What you want him to put a New Year's hat on?
I'm just, the energy I got when I'm looking at it is like, hey, man, that's not the same energy as some of the times we see you at the podium after you get your 2 sacks in the loss. It's like A.J. Brown. We lost, but I got 100 yards.
But you see A.J. Brown do that 9 and 10. He probably on his 11th time doing it.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett he on strike number 1. Bro.
Yeah, like you said, they only got 4. They only got 4 wins.
Never had a touchdown.
The sample size is smaller, Lee.
Like the situation is way different. A.J. Brown didn't have a touchdown record. He need 1 touchdown, but his shit wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's 2 totally different situations.
But I could also see if this was the last game and it was no shot afterwards. But you got another game, bro.
You think if he gets it?
No, but the record is based on a 16-game regular season. Now they extended it to 17 games. So technically, no matter what, he can't break the record.
But every record broken was based off of games that were more games. Even like the Russian record.
Yeah.
Right.
Added
but
games.
they're always going to add that.
When O.J. Simpson beat it, he was off extra games. Like, it is what it is. You got the op.
All right. Well, right now, so with the Steelers' loss in Cleveland and Derrick Henry running all over Green Bay and the Ravens taking down the Packers on Saturday, the AFC North title is officially back up for grabs. So the Browns and the Ravens are having a little fun on Twitter after the Browns took down the Steelers. I want to look at this because this is funny. Don't think we did it for you. Some in-division love right there. I love that. Well, whether or not they did it for them, the Ravens rise from the dead and have a shot to win the AFC North on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. And we don't know Lamar's status, if he's going to play or not. But despite that and them being away, the Ravens are a 3-point favorite in this game. So, Aqib, who wins the AFC North?
Man, I didn't think it'd come down to this, man. It's no way I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the way they was playing was going to go to Cleveland and lose. You got a chance to end it right here. You lose to a 3-win team. I know it's Shedeur. I know it's Shedeur. You feel me? But a 3-win team, y'all got a chance to go sew the division up, man. Y'all could restart. You could do whatever. It don't matter. DK, none of that stuff matter if we just go on the road and beat a 3-win team. You know what I'm saying? So, I like I said before, I was on this bandwagon all year. I hopped off the bandwagon and I said, this shit is just too inconsistent for me. You know what I'm saying? They started winning games, so the lead ran, tried to jump back on the bandwagon. But hey, listen, man, I can't. I'm sorry. Can't ride with these boys, man. If you can't go close the game out versus the Browns, then I don't like it, man. If the Ravens come out and that O-line and Derrick Henry run the ball the way they did in Green Bay versus a solid rush defense, bro, Pittsburgh has no chance, man. So I gotta ride with the Ravens, man. It's a big game. It's a big game, and I'm just gonna ride with the Ravens, Harbaugh and the guys, man. They just seem like they wanted at this time of the year. They just wanted a little bit more, in my opinion.
So wait a second. You were on the bandwagon, off the bandwagon, on the back bandwagon, and now back off the bandwagon.
Back off the bandwagon.
Unbelievable.
I can't I'm turning into a Steeler. Now I'm inconsistent.
Hitchhiking.
They did it to you.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
They're bleeding on to me now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Get the inconsistency off me. You know what I'm saying? Ravens knock these boys out. And if the Ravens get in, that's going to be a dangerous team, a very dangerous team.
Dangerous.
But what has Lamar done in the playoffs before?
Yeah.
Why do you think they're dangerous now?
I'm just telling you, man, experience matters, Kinsey. Experience matters. You feel that window closing.
But remember, the football gods are not with them. He didn't go to OTAs.
Yeah, you're right.
Say that.
So I'm confused.
Okay, but what if Lamar doesn't play?
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so
I know.
maybe that's it. You want to go?
Yeah, Cody.
Yeah, so I said at the beginning of the year that I thought the Steelers would make the playoffs, so I'm going to stick with that. I think the Steelers get the job done. I know you're not a big fan of them, but this could potentially be Aaron Rodgers' last game ever if they don't win this game.
True.
So I think that's going to give them some extra motivation. Mike Tomlin's a great motivator. They're at home. They already beat the Ravens once on the road against that offensive line and Derrick Henry. So I think they come out and get the job done. I don't think it's pretty, though. I think it goes back and forth. It's going to be a low-scoring game.
But he clearly struggled without DK Metcalf.
They are, and I think that's what caused an issue this week. To your point, Aqib, was the distraction of DK not being there. They had some guys out. I think they took this game off and already had the hats made and everything ready for AFC North champs, and we're going in this game a little too confident. They got humbled because the 3 games prior, they were playing some really, really good football. I think they get back on track with that. I think they get the job done at home and they get a win.
I know I wasn't here, but I had the Ravens winning the division, and I'm going to stick with the Ravens, man. That game against Green Bay was really impressive. Now, I know they didn't have Parsons, and but the way they ran the ball, and they ran the ball just like that the first time against the Steelers.
Yeah.
That was some bad calls.
They did.
That, it turned that game in Pittsburgh's favor. Another thing that turned that game in Pittsburgh's favor was DK having 140 receiving yards with a big play downfield early in the game.
Yeah.
They will not have that. And if they can get back to Henry running the ball like he did and has, and limit the turnovers, what Hundley does and came in was no turnovers. Now that defense, they could probably get carved out by anybody. So I'm not going to hold Aaron Rodgers out of it. But another missing point that they're not going to have is Washington, the big tight end, who got hurt in the Browns game.
He got hurt.
Like, we talk about tight ends and quarterbacks. He was a huge outlet for Rodgers, right? So he's not going to have him as well. So I'm going to take the Ravens on the road. They had a great road game against Green Bay. They follow it back with give Henry the ball 36, 40 times if you have to.
So you're saying with or without Lamar, you're going Ravens?
With or without, I'm going Ravens.
Nice.
So I also had the Ravens before the year to win this division. And I'm going to stick with it because Aaron Rodgers looked pathetic to me yesterday. And again, he didn't have his weapons, but he just looked as washed as you can look.
Oh, shit.
I think
He looked Phillip Rivers washed to me yesterday.
Okay. Phillip Rivers come in balling. Right?
But I'm talking about arm strength washed. Yeah. Where Aaron Rodgers yesterday averaged 3.5 air yards per attempt. It's just, listen, that's not a stat a lot of people talk, but it's just sorry. It's just like don't belong in pro football, sorry. And the Steelers yesterday on a combined 3rd and 4th down went 3 for 18. Again, don't have your weapons. I got it. But you're not going to be able to function like that against this team and win this game. Okay, now I'm going to flip over to Lamar. Something is really going south with Lamar and the Ravens. And there was a big article last week that we didn't get a chance to talk about in the Baltimore Sun by Mike Preston. And I have respect for Mike Preston because he grew up in Baltimore, played offensive line at Towson State, and he really knows the Ravens. And he reported that Lamar and the coaches barely speak if they do at all. that Lamar has fallen asleep in some meetings, then Harbaugh said, I should know. I'm in every meeting. Well, he's not in the quarterback meetings, John Harbaugh. And they said that Lamar is now obsessed, kind of like Kyler got in Arizona with video games, and that he plays them all night long, and that they're pushing back the start of practice deeper into the afternoon so Lamar doesn't have to come in so early. I've heard all kinds of bad stories about Lamar and the coaches and not communicating. It just sounds bad. And then I was surprised he didn't go. And I don't know how hurt he is because I have no idea. He got kneed in the back, I guess, or maybe it's some rib type thing. But Tyler Huntley really played at a high level. It's not pretty to watch, but it just worked at Green Bay, and it really works when you rush for 307 yards, right? And he contributed to the 307 because he can move. And he's smart, and he's been around enough that I don't think he'll screw it up. And so, to your point, if you just keep, remember, they lost to New England in large part because Derrick Henry didn't play through much of the fourth quarter after he had literally run them back into the game. And then they kept with the Keaton Mitchell duo, and they went back to Keaton Mitchell for the rest of the game. Well, they just kept giving it to the big fella, and he got 36 carries for 216 yards. Well, there's no reason he can't do a lot of that against Pittsburgh, which has been bad against the run a lot all year. And to your point, at Baltimore, they just couldn't stop him. So to me, they'll run the football down Pittsburgh's throats, and I think they should win this game pretty easily, like in the 28-17 range, something like that.
You're saying with or without Lamar?
Yeah, I'm saying
better without.
I think they're better without.
Yeah,
I do.
They run the ball more. Give it to Derrick
Don't turn it
Henry.
over, man. Don't turn it over. If Henry cannot fumble, even if he does fumble, I'm still going to give him the rock.
Yeah.
Because without him, you're not going anywhere in the run game anyway. So you might as well just keep giving them the ball.
I mean, they won at Lambeau 41-24.
They did.
That's
71 points in both of Tyler Huntley's starts combined.
Hello.
Man.
Which is in 2 games.
I just
he's
like the way
some impressive
quarterbacks,
because he beat the Bears, he beat the Packers.
Carving too.
Yeah. I'll say this though, man. I disagree. I not with what you're saying about Lamar. I do think something's off with him this year.
Something's not right.
Talking about that first, but this year, I mean, early in the season, the defense is playing bad and he's playing well, and they still can't win games. So you get frustrated. Then you have an injury and you miss some time. Then you get frustrated. Then you come back, and ever since then, you continue to have little injuries, and you never get back to 100%, and you can't get in a rhythm, and you're missing some throws. And I talked about his mechanics against the Bengals in that game, and he's saying, I'm making them at practice, but I'm missing them in the games, and I'm working hard, but it's not translating. Then you have another back injury, and you miss some more time. I just think it's mental right now for Lamar. It's just, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You're having an off year. When you play quarterback long enough in the NFL, you're going to have some off years. Maybe not years, but some off stretches. I'll say that. And right now, I think that's the only thing that's going on with Lamar. He's just not finding a rhythm, not being consistent enough, and it's just an off season for him. But we're forgetting that last year, he just threw 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions and 4,000 passing yards. He also had 900 rushing yards. This wasn't 4 or 5 years ago. This was 1 season ago that happened. So Lamar is still Lamar Jackson. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
He is still that guy. He's still MVP. He still has that in him. Now, the video game stuff and the film off, all of those other things, I don't believe that. Now, I don't think that holds any weight. I really don't. I don't think Lamar is the type of leader that would do that. The way that he works and, the way that he's bet on himself throughout the years and was, should have thought he was going to be a first-round pick, ended up going last in the first, late 32nd. All these things happen. He's had that motivation this entire time. I don't think he's taking his foot off the gas right now and becoming complacent. I just think it's an off year, and mentally he's off, but I think he'll get back on track. Maybe if it's not this year and Huntley finishes it off. If Lamar's ready, though, I still think there's an argument to put him back out there if he's 100%. But right now you feel confident with Huntley, but I have no doubt Lamar's going to get back to being that MVP.
I just don't want Lamar to get out there playing through injury and pressing.
If he's not 100, I agree. If he's not 100, ride with Huntley. He's playing good. But if he's 100%, man, you got to, it's Lamar Jackson still.
Well, listen, even with Lamar Jackson questionable right now, 75% of the chat has the Ravens. So they're siding with Skip and the boys over here. But I know we got to talk about a game that Skip's really excited to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You're just dying to talk about because we had a wild finish in Buffalo as the Eagles held on to beat the Bills 13-12, stopping the Bills on a 2-point conversion where Josh Allen missed a wide-open Shedeur to win the game. So Eagles finally win a big game and gain some much-needed momentum heading into the playoffs. And head coach Sirianni was all types of fired up after the win. So take a look at that.
AJ likes to show AJ, no.
Yeah, he's like, what? But most importantly about this game, you guys, is Aqib won it for the arena because he won a bet with Skip over this game. You were riding with the Eagles, you were riding with the Bills, and because of this, Skip Bayless put a dinner, but the dinner is actually for the entire arena.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm bringing everybody.
Oh, great.
You didn't know Lee was bringing the team?
No.
Look, Skip owed me so many dinners, right?
That's false.
What you mean? What's false about that, Skip?
I owe you two, and we got one pending this coming Sunday.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
We got to check the records.
Yeah, that's the record.
I know.
We got the records.
I gotta do my bookkeeping, but I do think it might be two.
He's up 2 on me right
He's
now.
up 2.
Yeah.
But there's a third one.
So many dinners. I just figured, man, look, we just have one big ass dinner on Skip.
Yeah.
I'm bringing everybody, and that'll just, it'll equal one dinner, like 4 or 5 that you owe me, Skip. You know what I'm saying? We could just put it all into one day. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing everybody. Just do it like that, man. Maybe after the new year, before the playoffs, though, Skip.
Yeah, okay.
We can't wait all damn.
Yeah. Kinsey, ask the question. Ask the question.
Okay. You're very thoughtful though to bring the crew. I appreciate that, Lee. But this is the question for you, okay? I know it's worded in favor of a little bit of a skip. But how fortunate were you to win this bet?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
Hey, I just know I've been looking at the menu at Steak 48, so I'm not fortunate. You know
Okay, yeah.
I'm just picking out my order already, but I told you, you need a athletic, a fast, a disciplined D-line to beat the Bills, man, and Philly is just a perfect matchup for them boys, man. That D-line definitely showed up. They held Josh Allen in 27 yards rushing. They pretty much kept him at bay all day. They held Cook.
Bay? What?
They did. What he do, Skip? They kept him at bay. If he don't destroy the game with his legs, then you have a great chance to beat them boys. They're gonna end up with under 15 points.
Yeah.
If he got 27 yards rushing.
Yeah.
They held Cook. This is the top rushing offense in the league.
Yeah.
Because the quarterback rushed for 50 yards a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hold him to 27, you hold Cook to 74. His longest running a day, 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that athletic, fast defensive line. They definitely showed up. And they created a turnover early in the game. That led to the touchdown. And, man, if it wasn't for a hook and ladder and a 50-50 ball by my dog B. Cooks, this game wouldn't even came down to that 2-point conversion.
Really?
So the defensive line for the Eagles showed up. They won that game single-handedly for the Eagles, man, just like I said they would.
Okay, now it's my turn. Now for some facts, now for some truth. And let me preface all this by saying I was on TV for 20 years on ESPN and Fox, and I was always really good at betting and winning bets. My guy, Shannon Sharp, when we parted ways after 7 years, he owed me, we always bet cases of Diet Mountain Dew, Breakfast of Champions, toast. He owed me 70 cases of Diet Mountain Dew when we parted ways.
Impressive.
And now I'm up against a guy who is I'm up against a guy who is the luckiest bettor in the history of bettors. Because he stole one bet from me when C.J. Stroud goes down in the first quarter. I got Denver at Houston. I got Houston. Houston would have walked away with that game, but Davis Mills gets thrown into it, and he was straight trash on me, as I tweeted. That's what he was. Okay, so now let's get to the truth of how lucky you were yesterday. The first thing that happens is, I did not know this, but Josh Allen's favorite receiver, his go-to, his security blanket is Dalton Kincaid, and he was 50-50 for the game, and he could not go. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go again. And then Josh Allen said all week that his foot was fine. His foot was not fine because he could not run. And in the first quarter, he got sacked. He's gotten sacked a career-high number of times this year. That's a whole nother issue. Yeah. But he got sacked in the first quarter and turned his right ankle on top of his sore foot. So now he's highly limited and can't move. So he hits Brandon Cooks with the 50-yard pass early. and they get down 2nd and 3 at the 23. So they at least have a field goal, and he rolls out, and he can't run. But at the last second, he says, well, I'll just dirt ball this. So he fires the ball low, and it bounces off an Eagles knee, and they call it a fumble. Even Dean Blandino on Fox said that was not a fumble. It was a forward pass, and you got a huge break because it's a 14-point swing, because I think they're going to go in for the 7-0 touchdown, and all of a sudden the ball goes the other way, and Philly goes in for the 7-0 touchdown. And Nick Sirianni's over there celebrating like they won another freaking Super Bowl, and I'm like, stop it. In the second half, Philly goes punt, 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 punt. That's what's happening in the second half. And here's what's happening for the Buffalo Bills. There's a 4th and goal at the 3 play in which Josh Allen runs, and if he's correct, if he's right, if he's healthy, he walks in, he tiptoes in, he dances into the end zone, and he gets tackled, and he's like a foot short.
That was a hell of a play by Zach Bond, though.
Okay, he's a hell of a player. Yeah, and he made a lot of hell of a plays.
Yeah,
I give you that.
He did.
But if Josh Allen at 6'5", 245 pounds is healthy on his right foot, I'm telling you, Zach Bond can't keep him from pay dirt. All right. Now,
what if Jalen Hurts? What if Jalen Carter is healthy? Not with 2 starters. What if everybody was healthy, Skip?
Okay,
this is not Madden.
Jalen Carter was.
Injuries off.
All right. Now let me keep going. Okay, so now it's 3rd and 8 at the 23. So they got another field goal. And Josh Allen retreats, and he retreats, and he retreats some more, and he can't run. He can't move. And I'm saying, just throw it away. Just stop it. Come on, you're smarter than that. And he takes a 19-yard sack out of field goal range, and they have to punt. Then they finally go score. They finally scored their first points with 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game. And Jalen Carter, I give it, he's a monster. I give you that. But he blocks the extra point, or we're having a different conversation right now if he doesn't block the extra point. And then they do run the hook and lateral. It's 4th and 10 at their 20. And it was a great call, great play, beautifully executed. And Ty Johnson runs it down and sets up the 4th and goal at the 1. And Josh goes over the top because he could stand still and jump and be okay. And so they're going to go for 2. And I got no issue with it because Sean McDermott had been calling for 2 even before there was the timeout. So he was very decisive in his call because you got Superman. Just let Superman win this game with the 2-point try. So they call a play, and I assume this one was in the correct formation because Shedeur goes in and out.
Hell of a play call.
And it's a hell of a play call. And Shedeur breaks wide freaking open. He is as open as you'll ever see on a 2-point try because it's so congested in there. It's hard to get somebody that open. And Superman, not only does he turn back into Clark Kent, he actually turns into Lois Lane because I think Lois Lane could have made a better throw than that. And he missed him by 3 yards. He falls. Zach Bond was blitzing, so he's all over the place. But he's not in his face. Are you talking
about on the right side? That was Phillips.
Okay, but I think Zach Bond got free up the middle.
DeJean came off the blitz. The back chopped him down. Bond was coming around. Spencer Brown did a great job of pushing him by. I think he could have set his feet, Skip.
Okay.
I think when he was falling off.
He's drifting to the left. He's drifting, and then he throws a fall away. Okay, he throws a fall away, but he's Superman. I've seen him make this throw 1,000 times. And he misses him by 3 yards. He dirt balls it 3 yards. And I'm like, what? Because he could have underhanded it to him and gotten it to him. That's how open he was. And that's how lucky you were. Once again, you stole another bet from me. On luck upon luck upon luck. Listen to these numbers. Listen to this in the second half. Buffalo in the second half has 210 yards to 16 total yards for the Eagles. Buffalo in the second half has 145 yards passing to -2 for Jalen Hurts, who went 0 for 7 in the second half. Buffalo in the second half has 14 first downs to 1 for Philadelphia, 14 to 1, and they still, somehow, how did they lose the game? I don't know. Every stat screams loss, loss, loss. And Buffalo was doing to Philadelphia exactly what they did, if you remember, to Baltimore on opening night, to Cincinnati, and then to New England. They were doing the exact same things, except Josh Allen couldn't move. That was the problem. And
That was the problem, Skip.
congratulations, you lucked into another bet.
Hey, I'm no Shannon Sharp, Skip.
Yeah.
I do well. I do well when I bet. I only bet. When
Well,
I
you're
know
lucky.
something. I only bet when I know something, Skip.
Yeah.
And I know that the Eagles are big game winners, and Josh Allen is just not. You know what I'm saying? He's not. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so you knew Josh Allen was going to be hurt and that Kincaid couldn't go. Yeah, you knew
I
all
knew
that.
that he wouldn't make the plays at the end of the game to win the game. That's what I know.
Okay, congratulations. You got me again.
I don't want to add fuel to the fire, Skip,
Yes.
but 60% of the chat says he wasn't lucky and that
Oh, God.
he won, rightfully so.
Yeah.
The
chat.
I'm just here to read it.
Hey, to that point, though, because of that defense, I know that they missed some plays and the offense struggled, but their first 8 possessions, they had 6 punts, they had a fumble, and a turnover on downs. That defense was playing lights out.
Lights out.
But kind of, and everything you said, Skip, you said it perfectly. That's exactly what I agree with. I will say on the 2-point conversion, though, that was my one note. I love the play call. You're going to motion. We call it A26 roll, right? You see the Chiefs, all the teams do it. We're going to reverse out, roll to the right, the back, and the flat. They're going to sell, which they've done before. They sell it. They cut DeJean off the backside. Then they have Brown pushes and washes Phillips out of the play. I just didn't like that Josh kept drifting. I know he can make that throw because when you're drifting, you got to hold that front side because you have a tendency to fall away and pull it. I think he could have set his feet real quick. Just throw it. Hitch up, front, short step, no step, and just throw it. Just literally toss it to him. So, and I guarantee you watching the film back, he's thinking the same thing because Phillips got washed by, he could have stepped up. But the other thing I will say is you got to give credit to Philly's defense. Even though Buffalo
really
had
good.
those chances, that defense played lights out. They're playing as good as anyone right now in the NFL, especially the second half of the season. And they had a great game plan against James Cook, against Josh Allen. They didn't let anybody have a couple explosive plays here and there, but they took away what they did best, was the run game. And if you do that, you're going to really force the Buffalo Bills to try to beat you other ways, and they couldn't yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. You win by Superman, you die by Clark Kent. All them Superman plays turned into Clark Kent's. Going back to the first fumble where they was in the fringe and they fumbled it all the way to midfield. And then you come down, you down 13-0.
Okay, wait a second. Did you think that was a fumble?
Yeah, it was a fumble. He went to tuck it.
Is that a fumble?
He went to tuck it and put it back, and it slipped out his hand.
He went like this. What do you think?
Look, the rest said it's a fumble.
I think
it's a fumble.
Those are the ones that are very close. I think because it was called a fumble on the field, it stood. I think that's why they couldn't argue against it.
It was a forward pass.
You think it was not a fumble?
It's tough because it's the intention rule. Like, do you think he was actually letting go of it, or do you think he was pulling back?
No, he went to pull that ball back inside,
but then that's
and
where
it slipped. He went to pump fake it, and I went to bring it back, and that's when it slipped.
That's where it gets iffy, though, with the arm going forward. How do I know if I'm
that's
starting?
The problem. Let's get away from
it.
You're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
Too much in the rain, bro. You're doing Superman activities. And it's right.
You don't get those are all going back. Another play was a big sack when he scrambled and lost 20 yards on that.
Yeah, that was huge.
But 13, you down 13-0. And this goes to the coach. You take the money. Kick the field goal. They went for it on 4th down. Josh Allen was this far from getting the touchdown.
Yeah.
Now that's the difference between Superman and Clark Kent sometimes. You get the touchdown some games you fail on 4th down and you lose them 3 points. And how did they lose the game? By a block extra point. They kick that field goal, they win by 4 because now you're just kicking the field goal.
That's true.
Football is very simple. Take the points when they're given, especially in an ugly game like that.
When you have no points at that point. Yeah, I agree.
So the momentum changes. Even though Philly didn't do nothing with the ball, you still now the Buffalo, they get the ball at midfield. They could have got the ball at midfield with the 3 points and the kickoff. Yeah. Like, you just changed the whole outcome of the game by one simple play. Kick the ball.
Yeah.
I don't hate going for it there when you're that close to the goal line. I don't hate that. What I didn't like, though, obviously, was the sack that Josh Allen took. Because you take that sack, to your point, whether they still kick the field goal or not on that, going for it on 4th and goal. But that right there was a guaranteed if he makes it. But you're in field goal range. You're up to 27. You've got 3 points. That's important because either one of those, if you score 3, it's 12 minutes left to go in the game. So you're going to get at least 2 possessions with how Philly offense is playing. Now you need a touchdown and a field goal instead of a touchdown and maybe a 2-point conversion. So those were huge. But I want your guys' opinions on this. Did you love Sean McDermott's idea to go, or his call to go for it on 2 there at the end of the game?
Of course, I did.
Did you?
I mean, I think if they wouldn't have blocked the extra point and he would have got 7 right there, they would have came back and scored again. He still would have went for 2. You know what I'm saying? If it would have been 13-13, he still would have went for 2 and tried to win the game. You know what I'm saying? So
Wait.
And honestly, I kicked the field goal. I'm all about the
kick the
momentum.
point?
Kick the extra point.
Kick the extra point.
Momentum,
Yeah,
exactly.
the extra point.
Momentum. We
Philly's
just went down
offense
the
was
field
doing
back-to-back
nothing.
drives.
You just went 2 scoring drives,
And
and
Hurts-
you're
You
at
guys have the
home. You're at
momentum.
home.
Now
Yeah,
you
yeah,
make
yeah.
Hurts have to score.
Yes, because
I
make
agree.
Hurts
The
have-
momentum
that was my
there.
whole thing. Was I
Hell
was
no,
sitting
bro.
there.
Your quarterback limping around, his foot hurt. If I could put the game in Josh Allen's hands from the 2-yard line,
Yep, that's
I'm
the
not going
point.
to do that. Like,
Yep.
who's not going to do that? I want to give him the ball from the 20 and let him go 75 yards from the 25 or the 30 and let him go 70 yards opposed to letting him go 2 yards.
But he just did it in back-to-back drives, is what I'm
But
saying.
still,
and Philly
this is for the
had-
game. If you say, all right, for the game, we go Josh Allen from the 2-yard line, you wouldn't put your money on that for the game?
What the context matters, though. To that point is
You're standing sharp.
you're going 50-50, saying,
You're
hey,
standing sharp.
it all comes down to 1 point right here, or it comes down to 1 play instead of saying we're going to kick it or whoever, we'll take the ball, let Philly go, force them
Right.
to go drive 60 or 70, 80 yards, which they haven't done all half. They had
All
16
half.
yards all half. Our team just went 2 scoring drives in a row.
All
They're playing
half.
well. Let's force it to be an extra quarter instead of come down to all or nothing 1 play. And you're at home.
That's taking the ball out of well, we can't call him Superman then. If we gonna say let's let Hurts get the ball and see what he can see, he's not gonna. That's not Superman.
Yeah, but sometimes
if
your
you got
defense-
Superman, you give Superman the ball at the 2-yard line and tell him to go get you a bucket. That's what
Yeah.
Superman do, bro.
Well, that's today.
You're
The way
agreeing with
wasn't-
him?
The way that game was going, he wasn't playing like Superman, and like it was really up and down game. I would have played it the long game.
Yeah.
At home, I would have
you
played
guys
the
are
long
both
game.
saying kick
On
the
the
extra
road,
point.
I'd be like, let's end it, let's get out right
On
now.
the road, it's
but
a
at
different
home,
argument.
I'm like, nah.
And they're struggling. I
Get
just
that.
Yeah.
Hurts,
But-
you just went 0 passing yards this whole half.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get your team in field goal range. I know Josh Allen can at least give me in field goal range.
Yes.
Skip,
We
you would have
can
gone
kick
for
the field
2?
goal.
Yeah, I already said that I had no problem with the decision because I had just watched them on a 4th and 10 from the 20 have to run a trick play to keep the game alive. So Josh was just limping around. But I'll take Superman on one leg from the 2-yard line. I'm with Aqib on this. I agree
Come
with
on
him
now.
on one thing only.
He
Go
got
for
the
2,
dinner.
go for
That's
The
the
only
reason,
thing
though-
that you guys agree on.
He got the
No, we-
dinner.
The only reason they had to run a hook and ladder on 4th and 10 is as much as I like Brady, they ran a bubble screen on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 9 on your own 30
Blown up.
with the game on the
hate
line. I
that play.
hated that call.
That's my worst.
I literally was watching
In
the
all of
game.
football.
I'm saying that right
I
there
hate that
ended
play.
it, but luckily they made up for it on the
Whenever I see that receiver, I just hate it.
Yeah, I hated it.
Okay, I'm going to make one prediction about Josh Allen.
Okay.
I believe this is just what he needed to launch himself into the postseason. And he's going to laugh and he's going to maybe bet against me again against Josh Allen. They should shut him down. They got the Jets at home. Just let it go. Let
Yeah.
Trubisky play.
Yeah, let him rest.
get right and let him get real angry and real motivated for the playoff game that's going to be on the road. I don't know if they're going to go back to New England or wherever they're going to go. I like Josh Allen, and I did like the way Buffalo's defense, heavily criticized defense, played yesterday because they played
did.
pretty well.
They did.
Yeah.
They played pretty well.
did.
Well, let's dive into that. So enough about Superman, or you called him today Lois Lane.
Yeah,
So I don't know,
Lois.
but let's talk about.
I'm with Josh down. I still got them to win the Super Bowl. I still
Okay.
still
All
think
right.
the Bills.
You've
good.
been riding.
So-
You've
Thank
been
you.
riding with
But
them.
yesterday, yeah.
But let's talk about the Eagles. Let's kind of hone in on that right now because they're
Yeah.
now at 11-5. Best case scenario right now, they're going to be the 2 seed in the NFC. Worst case, they're going to be the 3 seed. So either way, they will host one of the powerhouses from the NFC West.
Yep.
So Skip, I need to know, what chance do you give Philly to repeat?
Okay, I'm going to say this again. I grew up hating the Philadelphia Eagles, but
Fair.
I love their chances to go back and repeat.
Really?
I love their chances
Yeah.
Whoa.
because that is a football team. And I did bet against them because I was betting on Superman at home against them. And when we made the bet, I was delusionally thinking my Cowboys were going to need this win to sort of back into and steal the NFC East, which was
He
a
was
joke.
blinded by the star of the Cowboys.
I was
lead.
blinded by the star on the cowboy helmet. But
Yeah,
the point is,
he always blinded
okay,
by something.
all right. So the point is, I this year watched Jalen Hurts at Tampa go 0 for 8 in the second half and win the game. And I just witnessed Jalen Hurts at Buffalo go 0 for 7 in the second half and win the game because this team just knows how to win games. And the defense is legit, and I'm going to disagree with Aqib on this. Cooper DeJean can flat out play. I know you don't love him, but he's going to make the Pro Bowl. And he had a Pro Bowl game yesterday as not just a slot corner. He can play outside. He can play wherever you want him to because he just makes plays. He's got a nose for the football. He gets people on the ground. He's a fierce tackler. I just love what they have. They got a bunch of ballers on defense. And now that Jalen Carter is right, and he looked really right to me. He had one sack yesterday where he just steamrolled the guard. It's just ridiculous how good they are with Jalen Phillips rushing on the outside. I think they're going to win the NFC, but I thought they would before the year started.
Whoa, okay, you say hell no. What do you got?
Man, I give them like a 40% chance.
Lord.
You know why? They can't match when these teams start scoring. So they defense better.
But who starts scoring on them, though?
I'm talking about all the teams in the NFC West. I'm talking Seattle, the Niners, the Rams, the Bears. They can't score. That was earlier. And by black field. That's one team. But their defense was playing better at that time too, and they were healthier. They were healthier at that time too.
But at that time they went down like 3 touchdowns.
But what I'm seeing right now is the way these teams are scoring and their quarterbacks are stepping up in times of needing to score touchdowns. I don't see Hurts doing that. And I don't care what y'all say. He was 0 yards in a whole half of football.
Yeah.
That's incredible to me.
I mean, the Bears...
That's incredible to me. So if their defense is not playing at that level for the rest of these playoffs, and I don't think they can do that against the Niners, I don't think they can do that again against the Rams, I don't think they can do that against your Seahawks. I really don't see it. And I don't think they can do it against the Bears and Caleb Williams.
But the Bears put 24 up on them and won.
What do you want? They haven't scored more than 20 points.
That defense been doing that all damn year. You know what I'm saying? So you don't think they're going to do it?
But who they been doing it against, though?
Yeah, the Bears put 24 up on them and beat them.
They've been doing it against everybody.
No.
The Bears put 24 up on them, rushed for 280, but the start of the fourth quarter was 10-9.
They only scored 24.
The start of the fourth quarter was 10-9.
They lost 24-15. They scored 15 points, and all their wins and losses, their wins, they barely getting 20 points, and they losses, they only scored 2 touchdowns, 2 scores, 15 points, 19 points. Cowboys, 21 points. That's not going to win. That's not going to win it.
You can get it done on defense, brother. And
that's in the AFC, not in the NFC.
Year.
That's in the AFC. That's not going to happen in the NFC. You got to score points in the NFC.
The Rams already came out and scored 21 points on them in the first quarter.
It's proven. That was week 4.
It don't matter.
Man, it do matter. It's a different ball game the second half of the season. You know that.
What you don't know about Jalen Hurts is he's going to do exactly what he needs to do. If he's down 21, I guarantee you.
And that's my point. When he needs to score over 24,
he might go.
I don't think it's going to happen.
It don't matter.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I'll say this. So, with that defense, and to your point, talking about those teams in the NFC West, you talked about the teams and the quarterbacks. They also got to be prepared for a game plan from McVay and Shanahan. And also Johnson with the Bears, who they've already played once, too, so they get a second time around with them.
And the Bears beat them.
I'm with Aqib on that to where I think that defense right now, how they're playing in the second half of the season, is good enough to carry them to a Super Bowl because we've seen teams do it before, and we're sitting with 2 guys that were a part of a defense that carried their team to a Super Bowl. So I know that it can happen, but I've been saying this all season long, and the reason that I'm hesitant is because it's not Jalen Hurts, TJ, that I'm worried about. It's the guy calling the plays. I don't trust Kevin Patullo, and I still don't. We're in week 17, and I still haven't seen that progress that I need to see. I don't expect him to put them in a position to be successful. In the second half, they had 5 possessions. 4 of those were 3 and outs. The last 3 drives of the game, I talked about being predictable, that predictability factor that they have. It was as evident as ever. Those last 3 drives, what did they do? They went run, pass, which was a sack, punt. They went run, pass, which was an incompletion, punt. Then after Buffalo scored, okay, I get being conservative a little bit. You've got the lead. But now they scored. We're in go mode now. We got to go extend the lead because now it's a 1-possession game. What do they do again? Run, pass, punt. And the first run was a toss sweep to an overloaded side, and you're expecting your right tackle to reach block on Matt Milano, who's already got a yard ahead of him. Like, there's no way that's...
Where did we see, when they asked Hurts to match touchdowns with Herbert, what did we see? What happened?
Well, that's one example.
What happened?
Night.
To your
He
point
got
with that.
2 interceptions and they lost the game.
But we've seen Hurts before. Like, he had to come back against the Rams, and they put it on his shoulders in the second half.
No,
Super Bowl last year.
Bro, that Rams game, he did
the
not
second half?
come back like that. No.
He did.
He
No,
thrown slow those to AJ.
How many yards
Goddard,
did he pass for?
Goddard on cover
He still only passed for 200 yards.
In the
That
second half,
game, it ain't like he went out there and put up Purdy
What about the
numbers.
Super Bowl
That's
last
like he
year,
threw
then?
for 330
What about
yards.
the Super
He threw
Bowl
for
last
200
year?
yards.
Super Bowl last year, he outdueled Mahomes.
Oh, man, he didn't
But that's-
outduel
but
nothing.
my point is last year's play caller was Kellen Moore, and the play caller before that was someone different, and now it's Kevin Patullo,
So now-
who hasn't been in this position, and then the next play after
So you
that
think
toss.
Shanahan not going to scheme that defense up? You
No,
don't
I
think
think-
Ben Johnson's not going to scheme that Rams defense up?
Yes, no, they will.
All
I
right,
agree with
that's
you on
what I'm
that.
saying.
I'm telling you that they
Okay.
will. I'm saying
talking
that I
to
agree
league
with
too.
that.
I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to league.
My whole point-
he
I
can't
don't
see
think
me.
he is, bro. Was team scheming us up? Did you not think
Man, we was
Cam
a whole
Newton
nother
gonna scheme
animal.
our defense
And we had
up?
home
Did you
field.
not think
Another thing,
Tom
they not
Brady
gonna have
was
home
scheme
field.
our defense up? Ben Roethlisberger was going to scheme us up?
Ben
No, we ain't give a fuck
Roethlisberger,
what the
that's
scheme
Mike
was.
Tomlin. You know they ain't got no type of scheme over there in Pittsburgh. They got no scheme.
We ain't give a fuck what the scheme was.
We,
Philly
they
is
not
doing that
us.
shit,
You
bro.
can't compare them to the best defense ever to play.
But Cody, you're kind of giving
Hey.
conflicted answers. Are you in or out on
No,
them?
so
when-
final answer with that is I'm saying we've seen a defense be able to do it, but I've been saying it since week 2 that I don't trust that offense. So for that reason, and you guys gave me
You're
plenty of
out.
time for that.
You're out.
I'm out. I think there's
Okay,
going
we
to be a
got
game.
2 out.
Not because of Jalen Hurts, though. It's
I'm
because
not
of Kevin
saying strictly
Patullo
because of
and his
Jalen
play
Hurts.
calling. He's not going to put them in advantageous situations.
by the way,
to win
in
games.
the
They,
Two out,
they
two
can't
in.
put
in the
money on
first
the
half
board.
yesterday,
Yes.
They better hold teams to 10 points.
Jalen Hurts was on fire in the first half.
He was.
He
He
was.
played well. He threw. I mean, he
Come on,
threw for
man.
what 110 and a touchdown, but the only touchdown was on that 40-yard fumble.
All right, so look,
by
so Cody.
the Bills, and yeah, their offense was moving, but
So Cody, did we not see a deep ball shot to AJ where the DB is holding his whole arm?
Yeah, he had him.
That will put
Yeah,
him on
he
the
had him.
1 yard line.
I'll give you
and
that.
turn to another touchdown.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Like, come on, bro. What we talking about, bro?
What I'm talking about is the last 3 drives of the game when you need to be able to go. Maybe the first 2 of the last 3,
So
right?
what would you have done?
You're
You would
up
have came out throwing bombs and what you would have
No,
did? when
I
you
would have
got
ran
top
some
defense?
cross. I would have maybe ran some crossers. I would have got Saquon in space with a swing route. I maybe would have gotten a hitch or a slant to AJ on 1st and 2nd down instead of running a toss sweep against an overload. And then on 2nd and 12 with the game on the line, you're going to run a draw
All right,
against a
so
7-man
with
box.
With
Like,
your
what-
game plan, the Bills would have went for 2. They would have missed it, and then they would have still had a minute and 50 seconds to get the ball back again and try to get a field goal.
No,
with
with
your
my
game plan.
What I'm saying with my
what
game,
happened with your game plan.
with a game plan. I'm not going to say my game plan. I'm not paid to call plays in the NFL. But with
But that's
a
what
game
happened
plan,
with
well, there's
your
a
game plan.
humble factor in it. I know it's different when you're in the shit and everything's flying and you've got 40 seconds on the play clock to go. I'm not saying it's easy for me to say from the couch, but still, you're being you go run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt. Change something up. Let's try something out. Let's get some quick
Hey,
game
if
on
I'm up
first down.
13-0, guess what I'm doing? And with a cold ass defense,
Yeah.
run, pass, punt.
Yeah, but guess what?
Run, pass, punt.
But then you don't
I'm gonna
get-
take a shot.
We're talking
if
about
AJ
it, but
catch that, come on,
okay,
bro,
so let me
that's
ask you
gonna
this.
be nothing.
Let me ask you
Play
this:
safe
if,
like
if
that.
Josh
You
if
can't
Josh
play
Allen
safe
throws
like that the
and
rest
hits
of the
that
season.
Why
2-point,
can't you?
if
Because
Josh
you're
Allen
gonna
hits that
have
2-point conversion,
way
are you
more
still saying the same thing?
high-powerful offenses. That's what I'm saying.
If we're sitting here and Josh Allen hits that 2-point
all I'm
conversion,
saying.
you're not
Way
saying,
more powerful
well, damn it,
offense
the
than the
Eagles are
Bills.
too
You
conservative.
just said the Niners just put up 40 points 3 weeks in a row.
Bro, the Bills done put up 40 points this year, too.
Yeah.
So
But was
what
it
we talking about?
All right.
The Bills are top 5
We will
explosive
see.
offenses in
That's
the
what I
league.
love this
Yeah.
game. We
And
shall
By the
Well,
way,
see.
Sirianni deserves some blame if you're going to crush Patullo on this
Yeah,
because
that's his-
Sirianni.
he hired him,
Hey,
that's-
well, no, but he said he's been way more involved in the offensive
Oh, yeah,
strategy.
yeah, they've been doing meetings and
and
stuff.
it's always the head coach who can say run, pass.
Yeah.
It's up to him to say throw it on this down. He might not call the play, but let's throw it. Throw it on
It was
You know-
obvious they
Yeah,
were playing
it's
it
If
fine.
safe.
that ball hit to AJ,
Yeah.
that's going to be 20-0.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
If that ball hit to AJ where the guy is falling on the ground holding his arm,
He was.
that's 20-0, bro.
But-
so what we talking about?
Sure, but my other thing is I know you want to be conservative and run the clock, but if we get first downs, then we extend drives, and now the Bills maybe get 3 possessions instead of 4, or they get 2 possessions instead of 4 because we're extending drives and we're showing some momentum. Because if Josh Allen hits Shakir in the back of the end zone, we're sitting here saying, damn, that Eagles offense in the second half let them down. We're not
And
saying,
if Josh Allen
they
will
played
do some of
smart.
them stupid plays he did earlier in the game, they were going right up and down the field on their ass.
And it's also like
That's what I'm saying.
You're running toss sweeps against like there's no secondary call. We don't have a check to where, hey, overloaded this side. Let's
Bro, they had 300 plus total offense.
It's just
they just were fumbling in the fringe.
Yeah. I mean, an offense with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Cam Jurgens and all these different. I know the O-line's had some injuries, but you're telling me you're lower 20s in the NFL in total offense. You're telling me that scoring offense you're in the middle of the pack.
It ain't happening.
And I know they're leading.
I know what I'm telling
it
you
ain't
is
happening.
If they throw a flag like they was supposed to, because Tre'Davious White is holding on to his arm for dear life. If they throw that flag, they're gonna have the ball on the 4-yard line. That's gonna be 20-0. That's what I'm telling you.
If
that's
was a
what
fifth,
I'm telling
we
you.
all be drunk.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's all I'm saying.
All
One
right.
minute is bend but don't break, but then when the Eagles get stopped in the red zone, they drove the ball on them all
It
day.
is bending
Like, come
on break.
bro.
It's still bending, but look.
All right, so that's what they did. They bent, but they didn't break, fam.
You're right.
They went for it on fourth
You're
down
right.
and knocked the shit out.
Well, hey, this is just how I feel.
All right, the boys are fighting, and for the record, I'm out on the Eagles winning
I'm
the
out.
NFC, and the chat is also out on the
Oh.
Eagles. They say 70% of them are not. They're not going to repeat. So we will find out. But let's talk about the NFC South, okay? Because no thanks to themselves, the Bucs are still alive, and will have a shot to win the NFC South with a win over the Panthers on Saturday. The Bucs fell to Miami, now dropping 7 of their past 8 games. But with Carolina's loss to Seattle, the division is still wide open, up for grabs. So Baker Mayfield isn't worried about how hard they stumbled. Let's hear what he has to say.
Listen, to have a chance at home to get into the playoffs and win the division, wouldn't have it any other way. And obviously the things leading up to it, yeah, we'd love to change them, but still have a chance. Playing for the division at home, and I'll get this group ready.
There can't be more urgency, right? You're literally out of bullets now, man.
Out of bullets, out of lives, and that's all right with me.
So, I'd be doing the bookkeeping on this couch, and I did have in my notes that Skip had picked the Bucs to win the division.
Yep.
Lieb had picked the Panthers to win the division.
Yep.
And there was a bet floating on it. I don't know if it was secured, so we're gonna have to.
Oh.
But there's a lot
it
of.
was very secure.
It was secured.
It was
Okay.
very secure,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, but there's a lot of dinners on the line. This might need to be some cash or something. I might need to make a commission on this cash.
Skip don't
I don't know.
bet. Skip don't bet straight cash. Just,
Underdog
bet he bet that
cash.
black card. He bet that swipey of that black card.
Yeah.
But
It's cool with me though. hey, I'll take the swipe of the black card too. It's cool
Yeah.
with me.
all right, but the Bucs are a 3-point favorite at home, okay? But Cody, I need to know from you first before we get into these betting boys.
Yeah.
Who's winning the NFC South?
I'll say first, and I probably don't speak for myself. I don't feel good about either team right now.
Right,
If
like,
I'm
why does it
brutally
matter?
honest.
Yep.
Go ahead, TJ. Go ahead. Cut off my one shot, man. It's all good. No.
There you go.
I'll say
He's
this
like an
though.
old man.
I'll say this. Because if you look at the Panthers, it's kind of two different stories for each team. The Panthers are a different team week in and week out. You really don't know what you're going to get.
Seriously.
They get blown out against the Patriots. Then they win 3 in a row. Then they get blown out against Buffalo.
Blown 40-9.
Then they get blown out against. What do they do the next week though, Skip? They go beat Green Bay at Green Bay.
At Green Bay.
A team at that time that was healthy and felt like
And
a
then they beat
legit
the Rams at home.
Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
Well, then they lose
Yeah.
to the Saints, and then they beat the Bucs. They do these other things, right? And then they beat the Rams at home.
Rams.
And now recently, they're coming off of a loss against the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
it's just back and forth. So I don't trust them. But then when you look at the Bucs, it's really a story of 2 different seasons. Start out 6-2. They beat the Seahawks on the road. They beat
did.
Houston on the road.
They did.
We're sitting here ready to crown them as maybe the NFC champs.
Yeah.
How good they're playing. Baker
Heck,
Mayfield's
they
leading
beat
comebacks.
Atlanta. That was a big deal.
Yeah, they beat some good teams
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
And they beat the Niners at home. I know they weren't fully healthy. It was Mac Jones, but that Mac Jones team beat the Rams as well. So
Good.
they were beating good teams. Well, then what happened? The bye week happened, and after that, they're 1-7, and they're coming off of 4 very bad losses, including losing to Quinn Ewers and the Dolphins yesterday when they had a big chance to make a statement because Carolina lost. But with that being
is
said,
going on?
I picked Baker at the beginning of the year. I've been riding with Baker all season long. I'm going to ride with Baker now. I think Baker Mayfield gets it done. That's why, though. I think he's the difference maker. When you put him in this situation with his back against the wall and it's adversity and it's do or die and you have one last shot because he probably thought after that Dolphins game he wasn't going to get it, but you give him just a glimmer of hope, I think that he'll be able to get the job done. But it's going to be heavily on his shoulders. And this is a wild stat. And their 7 wins this year, he has 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. And their 9 losses, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. When they win, no interceptions. When they lose, at least one or more interceptions. So how they play is directly correlated to how Baker Mayfield performs. So with that being said, I think it's going to be on his shoulders, and I think he gets the job done at home. So I'm riding
Cody
with the Bucs.
Let's go to TJ before we go to these betting boys.
Oh man, this is an ugly division either way. I got this is tough. This is tough.
I said the
pick
same
worse,
thing. Yeah.
bad or worse. But I'm riding with the Panthers, man. I think they have these playoffs at stake. New coach, new life in that team. They didn't play well last week. They were 1 for 11 on third down, and they had 3 turnovers, I believe. I don't think that repeats itself. I think they go into Tampa Bay. We all know Tampa Bay doesn't have any home field advantage. And no matter how good Baker plays in the last 4 weeks, they're still on the skid. And they're going to continue that skid to end the season. So I got the Panthers. I think J.C. Horn and defense pulls it together this week and gets some turnovers themselves, and they run the ball well. And, Bryce Young does what he needs to do. He doesn't throw crazy numbers, but he doesn't turn the ball over, and they get the win. So got the Panthers.
All right, Lieb, how are you feeling? Because there's money, there's some dinner on the line.
I'm definitely not riding with a team who lost 4 straight. And who lost 7 out of their last 8 games. I just can't ride with that team.
That is 7 out.
There's no way, man. They turning the ball over right now, and they just playing bad football. Now, I know the Panthers not playing great football, but at least they win a big game. They lose, then they win, then they lose, and they just lost. So I like them to come back and have a solid game. They usually backdoor a bad loss with a solid game.
They do.
Now, I'm just going off the rest of the 17 weeks. I think they'll show up, they'll run the ball good, like Bud said. And our QB, that little guy, he had more than 54 yards passing. He won't put that shit on tape this week.
So I agree with Aqib's logic, but not his conclusion. I'm going to ride with Baker one last hurrah, one last ride into the night. But you guys, you're dead right. Everything screams Panthers. Everything screams Panthers because the Bucs have lost their way. And once you lose your way in this league, you just can't get it back. So they've lost 4 straight games by 4 points, 1 point, 3 points, and 3 points. So that's 5, 8, 11 points. So they've lost 4 straight games by 11 total points. They just can't figure out how to make one play on offense or defense that wins the football game.
Which they did so well early in the season, too.
This is the clutchest quarterback in NFL history we're talking about.
So, to that point, well, what if he hadn't pulled off miracles in 4 of the first 5 games? I'm talking about miracles.
That's fair.
At Seattle, at Houston, at Atlanta in the opener, miracles. Even against the Jets, they were in trouble when people thought the Jets were going to be somewhat respectable, and he pulled it out at the end. They did beat the 49ers, albeit with Mac Jones. That they took the Eagles to the wire when, again, Jalen couldn't complete a pass in the second half. But yesterday was just classic. Baker did so much good yesterday. He goes 33 of 44 for 346. If I told you that before the game started, you'd say, oh, they win by 3 touchdowns, right? But 2 touchdown passes and 2 picks. And the 2 picks are just classic. Baker rolls out and he's scrambling. He had 3 or 4 scramble runs that just took your breath away, where you just said, damn, that's big time. But on this play, he sees Jalen McMillan deep, and he just doesn't get enough on the ball. And the safety gets back in the play and intercepts it. And then he tried to hit Ibuka on a deep post, and it's flat out covered. It's double covered. And there's no window. The window is not open. And he steps into it with conviction. When he let it go, I said, that's a touchdown, because I can always tell when he's flinching, when he's double.
Rip,
he ripped this one. And he ripped it right to the safety, who's like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. And then late in the game, Chubb gets through because they can't block anybody. They can't run it, and they can't stop the run. And Chubb gets free looping around the blind side and just takes the ball out of his hand before he can let go, right? Okay, so there's 3 turnovers, and then they went down with the opening drive. They go 68 yards in 14 plays, and he hits Godwin for a touchdown. I said, we got this, okay? And on the next play, Jamel Dean, they're running some kind of cover 2, and I don't know what he's doing. He just lets, what's his name, Theo Weiss, he just lets him go. and they get a walk-in touchdown from like 60 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, what do you guys do? Then they score again and give up a 60-yard kickoff return. Well, you're going to lose. If these are all loser plays. So
Loser plays.
yeah, they are. They're loser plays. Even Mike Evans, as much as I love Mike Evans, there's a big third down on a drive, 3rd and 10 play, and Baker steps in and just lasers it and hits Mike Evans right there, and it just went right through his hands. I said, loser play. Okay, so what's to love about this? Well, nothing, except that I look at Bryce Young against Seattle, 54 yards passing, as Aqib said, 54 yards, and he had a QBR of 18. They went, as TJ pointed out, 1 for 11 on 3rd down. Come on, well, the Bucks can beat that. Surely you can beat that. And the first game in Charlotte, it was close.
Yeah.
You know, it's Baker Mayfield at home. It's Todd Bowles at home. I just trust those two guys at home against this team. If you'd told them before the year, you're going to get one game to make the playoffs and win the division, I think they would have said, okay, we'll take that, right?
Yeah.
And so you got it. Well, you don't have any confidence. You have no momentum. You have negative momentum. But I just think that they'll figure out a way to win this game because that's what Baker does. So there we go.
Just for my bookkeeping, what's on the line here on this bet?
Just a dinner. It was a dinner.
Okay.
Another dinner?
Dinner for the boys.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Yeah, I will say this, though. If you look back, I went back and watched the tape again from that Carolina-Tampa Bay game, and I went and watched the 4th quarter, really. And I did a breakdown on Bryce Young, too, on play before the end of the half.
He was great.
Dialing up. Yeah,
No,
he played
was
really good. Picked up a cover zero blitz, threw a dot to McMillan. But the last 2 drives, and this is where I think Baker will flip it, but the thing that worries me a little bit, Bryce Young went down with the game on the line and led a field goal drive. Baker Mayfield threw a pick with the game on the line.
So
I agree. Hopefully he can flip that
Remember,
this week,
Mike Evans thought he was.
Yeah, they miscommunication, and you know, you hate to see it, but still, those are going to be on the quarterback. But I'm with you, Skip. I think he turns it around. I think it takes one game to get back on track. I think this will be the game for them to do it. It has to be. Do or die.
all right, dinner on the line. I do want to move on. We have 2 more topics I want to get to quickly. So moving on to 2 teams with some wild momentum right now, you guys. The Jags have won 7 games in a row, and the Texans beating the Chargers this weekend now on an 8-game winning streak. So we always say on this couch, it's about how you're playing in December. And they're playing some good football right now. So I need to know, TJ, Texans or Jags, which team is a bigger threat to the AFC?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars.
Really?
Man, I think they've been the most consistent team besides the Broncos throughout the season. They beat the Broncos in Denver, so they have that road victory against the top AFC team. And even though the Texans just beat the Chargers aren't the top AFC team. They split with the Texans, you know, home and away. And Liam Cohen. It goes to that Shanahan effect. You know, these coaches come in and they put their imprint on these teams, and those teams and those players start to believe in everything that the coach is telling them and everything that the coach is doing on the field. And I think that he has a great scheme coming in the games, whether it's the Broncos against the Texans, against the Chargers, the Chiefs, and it just seems that they're getting those wins in clutch time. That's another thing. In the clutch, what are you doing? And I've been saying this for as long as Trevor Lawrence has been in this league. It's like, I don't believe in him. I didn't think he could get it done. But this year is like the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson.
He looks different.
He looks like a whole different player.
Yeah.
He looks like the guy that was at Clemson in his freshman year.
That's a good point.
And I trust him more than I trust C.J. Stroud at this point.
Is this just because they beat you guys at your place?
It's on top. With them beating us. No, but that definitely has, I mean, you come into Denver and you beat the Broncos, that's saying a lot. Now, we didn't play our best game, but regardless, that's saying a lot, man. We're going to be the number 1 AFC seed when it's all said and done. So you come in and beat us,
We'll
man.
see. We're going to talk about that next.
Oh, we are?
We'll
My
see.
bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aqib.
Hey, I just to Buzz' point, man, when a team that won 11, 12 straight games, bro, they bound to have a off game. The scheme was outstanding. We drew it up exactly how we wanted to do it. Run a 5-yard out, everybody gonna miss the tackle, it'll turn to 60 yards. Then we're gonna do that again. Like, come on, bro. The great game plan, I just personally ain't see all that. But
I mean, he got the one-on-one matchups. That's what it's about.
We're running.
It's
we're
about
running
players
tight ends
making
and fullback,
plays.
running corner
If your
routes. out the
if your guy's
backfield.
not tackling, them
Liam
3 and
was
4
dialed
yards
up.
are going to go for 30, 40 yards. If I get my quarterback on the edge with an end and he not disciplined to keep my edge, then it's a touchdown or it's a first down on third. Those type of situations happen, man. You got to give him credit where it's at.
And you know when they happen? When you get to winning 11 and 12 straight games. You know what I'm saying? That's when they get to happening. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly when that kind of stuff start happening.
They
but
happen
to your point,
regardless.
Kinsey, I'm taking the team who ranked number 1 in total yards, top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in rushing yards, top 5 versus rushing yards, and the number 1 versus points allowed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when Bud became such an offensive guru guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when it happened.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You got to work.
It's
When you
not
on the
often
gridiron,
you
man,
guys
you got to get to
disagree.
know both
I don't know
sides,
when it
man.
happened, Kinsey.
But the Jaguars
This is
got the
totally
number 1
different
against the
ball.
run. And you know if you can't run the ball in the playoffs, it's bad.
Hey, and Jacksonville, 30 takeaways.
Come
this
on
year,
now.
which is second in the NFL.
Talk about it.
30.
I
Talk
don't know
about it.
Usually Bud ride with the best defense. The Texans got the better defense.
Yeah.
They do. Overall.
That's why they
Overall,
gonna
they do.
they
They
gonna make more
do. They
noise.
do.
So Leaves going with the Texans. Cody, who do you got?
I'm torn on this, man. I went back and
Wait,
forth
you're
last
torn
night.
on all these,
Uh-huh.
right?
It's
Cody
like
torn
it's
on
the
everything.
time
Confused.
of the year.
He don't want to hurt nobody feelings.
Oh,
It's the time of the year. I mean, look at it though.
I know.
I mean,
Cody
I
don't
just
want to hurt nobody feelings. man.
I know. he's-
No, I'm giving
I love
the
you
facts.
all, but
I mean, I wasn't torn on the Philly discussion. I was telling you about their offense, but no, to that point. I mean, look at it. The Jaguars have won 7 in a row. The Texans have won 8 in a row. Both teams are red hot. You got the number 1 defense statistically.
Both of
But
them
the
bound to
Texans,
drizzle down, bro.
They both going to
hey,
win.
I was in Jacksonville. I was a former Jaguar. I'm rooting for them.
All right,
I'm
let's go,
going to pick
baby.
the Jags. I'm going with the Jags. Trevor
All right.
Lawrence has 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception in his last 4 games. He's playing different. This is a different
He is playing
Trevor
different
Lawrence.
right
and Liam
now.
Cohen has put confidence in
Even
him. And I
Etienne
know
said
in the
that.
playoffs he hasn't been the best, but I think this is where he turns it
You
around.
said something about turnovers?
Takes that next step. Jaguars have 30 takeaways this year.
Yeah, okay.
And then Trevor Lawrence only has 1 interception. So they're protecting it on offense.
There you go.
And they're taking it away on defense. So
you go.
I'm going.
Ooh. Are you
I'm
going to
going
split
with
the arena
Jaguars.
here?
I'm going to split it because I'm going with our resident genius, Aqib, on this. Right? He knows it all. He's got Super Bowl eyes. He knows what it looks like. And the Texans are what it looks like on defense because they are by far the best in points allowed and
That's
all
a
those
scary
defensive
defense
stats.
right there.
They're by
Defense is
far.
legit.
So they start off 0-3, and the third loss was at Jacksonville, 17-10. And then, boom, they turned it around, and they have taken off. And they did beat Buffalo at home. It's 23-19, and they were very good at the Chargers, 20-16 on Saturday.
Yep.
I love D'Amico Ryans. He is their defensive coordinator, and the offense has gotten good enough that it's respectable, and it can help carry the defense by giving them just enough. And those kids from Iowa State, those receivers.
Yeah.
Noel and
Katie,
Higgins.
their offensive coordinator, I was with him in New England.
yeah, I forgot
He's
about
starting
that.
to
Yeah.
find an identity on offense.
That was
I
my
like it.
next
And I
guy.
think CJ
What is
Stroud's
he
getting
doing
his step
offensively?
back.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, so I think they're a real threat in the AFC.
Yeah, and those, you know what started this hot streak that tells you how good that defense was is Davis Mills. I'm not trying to discredit him, but
but he got him.
started the streak with Davis Mills. That
He
defense was
kept
playing
them
great,
afloat.
and there was a
He
belief that he could go get the job done.
He did.
All right, so I'm going to break the tie here then with the board. I'm going to go with the Texans as well
Okay.
because, what I've learned from these guys is defense wins championships. And
There
that
you go.
defense, every time I'm watching them, I'm like, that is a scary defense.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Texans. Let's get to one more topic, though, because we got to talk about your guys' Broncos, the boys'
Yep.
Broncos over here. In typical Bo Nix fashion, another fourth quarter win for you guys. So now you guys are 13-3. But you know who else is 13-3 after smacking the Jets? 42-10 is New England. So right now the Patriots host the Dolphins this weekend and the Broncos host the Chargers. So Aqib, who wins the 1 seed in the AFC? Broncos, Patriots.
Bo and the guys, of course.
I would have never guessed you would say that. I'm shocked. Oh my
You know
God.
why? You know why? Because I told you all these early things that happened, they matter. They went out and they lost to the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? I told them that Raiders loss is gonna come to hunt them boys. You know what I'm saying? We smacked the dog shit out the Raiders a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So hey, we ain't gonna have no problem clinching the home seed. Sean gonna have boys ready to go because that's what he do. You know, and we'll be going off a nice 2-game win streak going into the playoffs. You don't want to be going into the playoffs on no 8 and 9 game win streaks. I'm telling you, it's bad for business, man. It's bad for business. You get real tight. You get real tight when you're like, oh, we won this many games in a row. We can't lose it now. Like, bro, you want to get that loss out the way, recent, go in on a nice little win streak, man. So we gonna show Skip. We gonna show Skip. I made a highlight of all clips of Skip. Sent it to Deshaun. He gonna let that thing rock in the
Oh, really? Well, I might have one more that you're going to have to add to it here in just a minute.
Bulletin board material. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let it rock.
By the way, did you really?
We're going to have it on rotation in all the TVs in the facility.
Did you smack the Raiders the second time you played them? I think it was a one-score game, as I recall.
We smacked them both times.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Smacked them both times.
You know they went down and got a field goal when the game was over.
Yeah.
All right, Cody, let's hear it. Who do you got? You have no bias
I'm
here.
torn on this now.
He's torn. Make a decision, Cody. Make a decision.
Hey, let me do my analysis shit, man. I do my homework. Let me nerd out a little bit. No, I'm not torn on this one. I'm going with Denver. I'm going with Denver. When you look at it, both teams, if they both win, which I think they do this weekend, Denver wins the tiebreaker. That's why they're going to get it. Because I think New England's going to beat Miami, and then Denver plays at home against the Chargers this week. I think they get the dub. The X factor in that game, too, Justin Herbert. I know we're talking about the Browns O-line, but don't forget about that Chargers offensive line. Herbert's been sacked 54 times this season, which is number one. Number one in the NFL. He's now ahead of Cam Ward and Geno Smith for the most times being sacked this year for a quarterback. You're going up against the best pass rush that can get it done with the four-man rush that can bring pressure. Yeah, it's gonna get bad. So I don't know if it'll get bad. I think they'll be competitive, but I think it's going to be tough for Justin Herbert to stay upright. So for that being said, I think both New England, Denver win. Denver gets the number 1 seed and they get a home.
Yeah, we're going to come in firing all cylinders.
AFC goes through Mile High, man. AFC goes through Mile High.
Yeah, we started a little slow Christmas Day. We were still full from dinner and travel. So we started a little slow on the road in KC. But we're going to come out firing. Them Pistons going to be going. I'm going to be up there, so I'm going to catch the game. I'm planting the flag, so you know I'm good luck when I come in the stadium. But, yeah, man, like you said, that pass rush is going to be kicking ass. They're going to get to Herbert. That broken hand is not going to really hold up too well. They haven't been running the ball great, and you got to be able to run the game late in the season.
Skip, are you going to go against the Herbert over here? I know, wow. You said you got another highlight for Sean Payton.
Take a shot of Mountain Dew real quick.
Ooh.
Let's hear it, Skip.
Diet Mountain Dew, breakfast of champions, right there. Okay, I got to do this because I'm going to say that the buck and the luck stops here. I did watch the first game out here at SoFi, and I watched Justin Herbert get sacked 5 times. I got you. But I watched him throw for 300 yards in the first game, and I watched Bo Nix struggle. He was 14 of 25 for a grand total of 153 with a QBR of 46, under 50, so it's below average. Yeah. So the Charger defense did a pretty good number on Bo Nix. I know it was a long time ago, but I think they're going to come in with some confidence against Bo Nix. And I do like Jim Harbaugh in big games that really matter. And this one really matters to you guys because he can go in and turn you upside down on having the 1 seed by knocking you off at home. I like Harbaugh in this situation, and I think they'll run the ball well enough to win a low-scoring game. And it'll be that they won the first one 23-20. I think this will be even lower scoring. I'm going to say 17-13 visiting team in this one. Chargers over Broncos, because I think the Chargers just have your number this year.
17-13.
Yeah.
So you're saying, and then New England beats Miami, so New England gets the 1 seed, is what
New
you're
England
saying?
would get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Skip going against the grain.
Yeah, put that on.
Put it on there.
Put that in the boomerang.
All right, got it on the book. Got it on the book.
Yeah.
We do have Monday Night Football tonight, so I just want to get a quick little one word on this one because we got the Rams and the Falcons. The Rams are 7.5-point favorites in this game. So are the Rams going to cover? That's my question. Go.
Yeah, I got the Rams winning 27-17.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, they said one word. You want me to tell you what?
I love that.
Okay.
That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Cody. Keep.
Okay.
Rams going to beat the shit out of them. And
Okay.
a lot of momentum going into the playoffs, like 33-17.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a blowout myself. I'm going to say 35,
Really?
16.
Skip, come on, tell me the Falcons
I got
beat the Rams.
I got the Rams, but I think it's going to be close because Kirk Cousins, very quietly, is 3-0 in his last 3 on Monday Night Football.
Kirk, yeah.
He's 6-1 in his last 7 games on Monday Night Football. And when you do have Drake London, I assume he's going to have him back, and Kyle Pitts and Bijan, you got weapons. And I just, here's another Rams team having to, what's Aqib always say about having to fly cross country? So they're 1-2 in the East. They lost at Philadelphia, they lost at Charlotte. They did win at Baltimore, but I think they'll be a little sluggish, and I do think it's going to be a shootout. I got it 35-33 Rams.
Wow.
I got the
But it's a
Shootout.
night game though, Skip. So they're gonna fly over there. The game gonna be at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But their body clock gonna be on 5 o'clock. That's still peak performance. Skip.
It's
So
okay.
you gotta see what time the game is.
Yeah,
too.
the West to East isn't
And I
as
think
bad.
the Rams going to take this like a playoff game, too, because you don't want to go into the playoffs with that L.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
And I think and Drake May's been great this year, but I think this game too, Matthew Stafford solidifies the MVP. If he hasn't already, I think he's got my vote.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be rooting against the
You
Rams
don't think so?
tonight.
I
That's all I know.
Drake May.
All I know is I'm going to be rooting
May's
against
balling.
the Rams and
Yeah.
hoping Bijan goes crazy.
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
guys,
okay.
that will do it
Come
for
on,
another
MVP.
episode of Gridiron presented by Underdog. We will see you back here. Actually, tomorrow is going to be a basketball show, so we'll see you back here next week. Happy New Year!
Yeah.